we have 96-game season, and so at the midpoint of that, after 48 games, you declare the first half champions, and the teams that are in first and second place at the end of the first half automatically clinch playoff berths. So we'll see if the Ballers can remain in the pole position. Right now, they're leading the league, and couple games away from clinching a playoff berth. Listening to Mark Kahn, our PA announcer, just announced that we're going to be having a beer batter here. And of course, that means that if the Rocky Mountain Vibes player strikes out, then $5 beers for the rest of that inning here at Raimondi Park. So you end up getting a lot of fans chanting "We want beer" throughout the ballpark. Beautiful night. The sun is out for a couple more hours, and we're getting ready to introduce the starting lineup. So, tell you a little bit about my own experience with the Oakland Ballers. I started the team with my buddy Paul Friedman. We went to high school together here in Oakland, and we were very upset that other baseball team that I'm not going to name, that they decided to leave for what they saw as greener pastures in Las Vegas and Sacramento on the way to Las Vegas. And so we thought we'd start a new team so that we could continue pro baseball here in the town. And so we found a league. That league is the Pioneer League, historic independent baseball team that's been around since 1939 with the other teams in the league in Colorado, Utah, Montana, and Idaho, and decided we'd start a team here in California, and that team is the Oakland Ballers. Now, of course, there's two teams in California, the Oakland Ballers and the High Wheelers. It's been a really exciting first season and almost season and a half for the Ballers. Of course, we made the playoffs in our first season, ultimately losing to the High Wheelers, who went on to beat the Glacier Range Riders in the championship. And now here we are having a great beginning to our second season. With that, we'll tell you the starting lineup here for the Oakland Ballers. Leading off, the shortstop, Tremaine Cobb, who's having a heck of a season, followed by batting second, the right fielder, Isai Santos. Then we've got at first base, hitting third, Christian Almanza. Local kid, actually grew up with Tyler Lozano and Dylan Tatum in Stockton. In the cleanup spot, we've got Danny Harris playing second base today. And then Cam Buford hitting fifth, and he'll be DH tonight. Followed by number 28, Lou Helmig, who's playing left field tonight. You hear the crowds chanting "Lou," which sounds a lot like boo. Followed by Dylan Tatum, our catcher, hitting seventh. With Nick Leahy playing third base, batting eighth. And finally, in the ninth spot, we've got Daryl Buggs playing center field. Pitching tonight, we've got Reed Butts. Reed Butts, veteran Oakland Baller, coming into his second year. Definitely become a hometown favorite. Really, really big personality. Great kid. And now we're going to pause for the national anthem.
Streaming, and the rockets are reckless. star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That was the national anthem. Now, the Oakland Ballers have won 14 out of the last 15 games, 11 in a row in 14 of the last 15 games. That means our magic number is at 3. So any combo of Ballers wins, that would be a half game for each winner. Losses by whoever's in 3rd or 4th place, that would be a half game for each loss. That'll get us to 3. So we'll see if they can make it happen during this critical last series of the first half of the season against the Rocky Mountain Vibes. Getting ready for the first pitch. Reed Butts is warming up on the mound.
Remember, folks, the beer batter is Dane Tofflin, the 5th hitter. If Dane Tofflin strikes out, then Kansas City's brother Pierre will be
It's time to introduce the Rocky Mountain Vibes lineup. Batting first, we've got Carter Booth playing center field, followed by Alex Adams, the shortstop. In the 3rd spot, Sam Linscott playing right field, followed by Gary Laura at first base. Dane Toffland at 3rd base in the 5 spot. The designated hitter Will Butcher in the 6 hole. Stephen Wilmer, former Oakland Baller, batting 7th, playing left field, followed by Tristan Garcia at 2nd base, and Alonzo Zuniga, the catcher, in the 9 spot. Looks like there may have been a substitution. Ernie Yak. Yak, am I pronouncing that right? Ernie Yake, the 2nd baseman, I believe he's batting 8th for the Rocky Mountain Vibes instead of Garcia. Ernie Yake at 2nd base. Carter Booth, the center fielder and leadoff hitter, getting ready to come to the plate. We'll see what he can do against Reed Butts, our starter, who's having a heck of a year for the Oakland Ballers. First pitch is low and inside for a ball. Carter squares up. Second pitch is outside for a second ball. Count is 2-0 on Carter Booth. There it is, swing and a miss, right down the middle. Reed Butts, nice pitch, makes it 2-1. Little bit high. Carter Booth takes the pitch to make it 3 balls and a strike to Reed Butts. Ooh. And he ropes a single over Danny Harris, the 2nd baseman, for a leadoff hit, which brings up Alex Adams, the shortstop. Alex Adams has 37 hits in 107 at-bats. He's hitting .346 for the season. He's got 34 strikeouts and 17 walks. Another righty as Reed squares up with Carter Booth taking a lead from first base. First pitch is just foul to Christian Almanza, the first baseman, making it 1-1. So I guess that would be the second pitch. Oh, looks like we've got Casey Pratt joining us in the press booth. I'll unmute you. How you doing, Casey?
I'm doing great, Brian. That was a beautiful pregame show.
It really was. We've got the 1975 Warriors here as Alex Adams takes a pitch, another ball to make the count 2-1. Casey, which Golden State Warriors from the 75 championships were here? Another big swing and a miss, making it 2-2.
Yeah, we had Rick Barry here, 1975 NBA Finals MVP, who tossed out the first pitch with a basketball granny style.
Famous for the granny style.
He's
free
well
throws.
known for. And then he threw 3 different baseballs because he wanted to just keep chucking them. That's pretty cool.
Reed Butts throws another ball to make the count 3-2 to Alex Adams, the shortstop.
We had Clifford Ray, the center for those champion Warriors, and we had
Clifford
Charles
Ray.
Dudley, a guard and defensive specialist for those Warriors.
Dudley, kind of an early Draymond Green, as Alex Adams takes a big swing and miss to strike out, making it 1 out to Reed Butts, and Sam Linscott comes up, the right fielder.
Brian, I like this play-by-play. You're doing pretty well here.
Thank you. I'm trying my best. You know, I already told our audience that for you and me, Casey, this is new. This is the bunny slope broadcast that you're getting, but what we lack in information, we make up for in extreme enthusiasm. As Sam Linscott, high fly ball, and he's out in right field to make it 2 outs. As Carter Booth still on first base, and to bring up in the cleanup spot Gary Laura, the first baseman.
Yeah, you know what's funny, Brian? We had the 1975 NBA championship trophy down there, and the umpires were more interested in that trophy than their own plate meeting that was supposed to be taking place.
You know, they're never very interested in the plate meeting.
No.
As Reed Butt squares up for the first pitch to Gary Laura, which is a strike in the low and outside corner, but just painting the corner of the strike zone to make it 0-1 to Gary Laura, the first baseman.
So the umps, they all got their photos with the trophy.
1-1 as Gary Laura evens the count.
And then the Warriors walked over to the trophy, and everybody got photos with the Warriors and the trophy. And then eventually I told manager Aaron Miles, why don't you go out there and start this meeting? Yeah, let's go.
Ooh, as Reed Butts throws just low for a ball, making the count 2-1 to Gary Laura, the first baseman. Carter Booth still on first base, 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Beautiful pitch in the inside low corner to make it 2-1 to Gary Laura. Yeah, Dudley, he was sort of like an early Draymond Green, right? He was a defensive enforcer.
Yeah, very, very strong defensive specialist guard.
So were those guys excited to be here? Their first Oakland Ballers game?
Yeah, they were absolutely excited, and they didn't want to get off the field. They were enjoying it so much. As I ushered them off, I was like, you guys, the game is starting now. The fly balls, the foul balls, everything's about to start happening, so we're going to need to move. But, yeah, they're having a great time. They're heading over to the merch booth right now, and they're going to hang out in the seats. They're all getting out to the crowd right now.
That's great. I hope their winning championship pedigree and juju rubs off on our Ballers as Gary Laura ropes one, but the left fielder is there.
Lou Helmick.
Lou Helmig, the German machine, makes the catch to end the inning. This is Brian Carmel with Casey Pratt, and you are listening to Ballers Radio on 860 AM The Answer. What did they just say?
Quiet.
Okay. What did he say to us?
Oh, here.
This is Brian Carmel. I'm here with Casey Pratt. This is Oakland Ballers Radio on 860 AM The Answer, and we are heading to the bottom of the first inning as the Oakland Ballers get ready to take to bat for the first time. Leading off will be the shortstop, Tremaine Cobb. Casey, Tremaine is having a heck of a season. What do you think of that kid?
Tremaine Cobb Jr., known as a defensive specialist, one of the best fielders in all of NCAA. came in here, and he's hitting the ball like crazy. So he is far more than a defensive specialist. He's got speed. He can hit. He's leading the team in average if you don't count Dylan Tatum, who is a catcher, so he doesn't technically qualify with as many at-bats. But Tremaine Cobb Jr. is absolutely delivering, and he has been fantastic for this Oakland Ballers team and one of the best personalities on the squad, too. You got to love Tremaine Cobb Jr.
And, of course, set the tone on opening day by winning the knockout round as the first pitch
That's going to fall.
from Evan Kowalski falls, mashes a single into center field for a leadoff hit, bringing up Isai Santos, the right fielder. Isai, local kid from Berkeley, and you've gotten to know Isai a little bit too.
Yeah, Laney College kid. Isai Santos obviously understands what we're all about here with the Oakland Ballers and representing Oakland and playing great baseball. And, man, he has been fantastic for us as well. Berkeley, California native, and you just got to love to see these local guys coming through here. We have a lot of local guys on this team, Brian.
First pitch to Isai Santos is low and outside for a ball 1-0.
And I know that if you're listening right now in the YouTube live stream, hopefully you're commenting. And if you're listening on 860 AM, The Answer, thank you for joining us. But, yeah, let's keep this conversation going both online and here as Isai fouls that one back.
You know, it's funny. My friend Sam Loeb, who Paul and I went to high school with, his sister Jenny, when she heard we were starting a baseball team, she actually emailed me. She got in touch and said, there's this kid that's friends with my son. His name's Isai Santos last season, and you guys got to check him out. As Isai fouls one, let's see if that goes into the stands. And
oh, no, it doesn't look
Nope.
like it. Down he goes, off the netting.
It's caught, I believe. Did he catch that? Off the net. Not caught. Not caught. Okay, it's a foul ball.
But Isai is heading back to
make
the
it 1-2.
dugout.
Oh,
So
no. Interesting. So it looks like it ricocheted off the net, but still they called him out. Who'd have thunk it?
Number 29, Christian Almanza.
For the first out, and that brings up Christian Almanza, the first baseman. As Evan Kowalski squares up, first pitch is low and outside, taken for a ball to Christian Almanza. Christian grew up in Stockton with Dylan Tatum and Tyler Lozano, the Oakland Ballers veteran. Isn't that right, Casey?
yeah, we have three besties on the team that have known each other for their whole lives as the pitch is on its way. And that's high. It's another ball. I've been telling anybody that will listen that I'm a big fan of Christian Almanza. This guy is the career home run leader at St. Mary's, the single-season home run leader at St. Mary's, and he has shown that power with the Ballers. He's second on this team in home runs behind Dylan Tatum, his friend for life. And that one is fouled
Christian
away.
fouls one. Let's see if that did that go out into the street? It went into the street.
Reminder, fans, do not park on 20th or
No,
Campbell, please.
Not a great idea. Lots of foul balls. Park at your own risk.
Almanza stepping back into the box here. 2-1 count.
Almanza, of course, who's hitting .305 with a .378 on base percentage and a .604 slugging percentage for the season.
That's inside. So it's
Inside.
3-1 now.
3-1 to Christian Almanza. As Tremaine Cobb takes his lead from first. One out. Bottom of the first inning. As Kowalski squares up. And Christian Almanza pops one up. It looks like it's going to be to the shortstop. Up! Who catches it? Barely.
We had
Barely.
a little bit of what you might call a husband and wife play. No communication. That one
Alex
almost
Adams,
fell.
the shortstop, and Dane Tofflin, the third baseman, were talking to each other, but they're having words with each other now. A little bit of a miscommunication. They might circle back to that one later as Danny Harris, the second baseman, gets ready to take his at-bat. 2 outs, Tremaine Cobb on first base as Evan Kowalski squares up for the first pitch.
Ooh, pickoff to
Throws
first,
to
not in
first.
time.
No, you're not going to catch Tremaine Cobb on that one.
No, you are not.
But if you want to try, go for it.
So Danny Harris, the fourth, was in the Rockies system. He's a talented hitter. He had a very long hit streak that just ended in the previous game, I believe.
as the second pitch inside for a strike. 0-1. Excuse me, that was the first pitch. 0-1 to Danny Harris. I guess the first pitch was a
Pick off to
pick off
first.
to first base, and that doesn't count for a ball and a strike.
Doesn't
I may be new
technically
to broadcasting,
qualify,
but
yeah.
I do know that much. Next pitch, Danny ropes it, and it's caught to end the inning. We go to the second, no score. This is Casey Pratt and Brian Carmel on 860 AM Ballers Radio. This is Brian Carmel and Casey Pratt. You are listening to 860 AM Ballers Radio as we head to the top of the second inning. Rocky Mountain gets ready. And Reed Butts is on the mound tonight. Reed is having a great season for himself. Let's see if he can keep things going.
I believe Reed Butts is tied for the team lead with 5 wins with Luke Short. They have both been having great years. Reed Butts, one of the most likable guys on the team. Even though he's starting today, and typically you will not talk to a starting pitcher on their start day, he ran right up to me and gave me a big hug when he saw me. So you can tell you that his spirits are high.
First up for the Rocky Mountain Vibe is Dane Toughlin at third base. He, of course, is the beer batter, which means if he strikes out, then fans at Ramondi Park get $5 beers for the rest of the inning, and he takes a big whiff, swing and a miss. That is 1 strike, 2 more, and those who enjoy an occasional frosty beverage will have their heart's delight as Reed Butts squares up for his next pitch, and it is inside
0-2.
for a
We're 1 strike away here.
1 strike away.
You can hear the "We Want Beer" chant starting in the crowd as we get ready to see what happens with this offering from Reed Butts.
0-2.
Ooh.
Oh wow, Reed Butts, little chopper to Reed Butts, who squarely handles it and tosses it to first base. It's sort of a win-lose situation. It's a win because for the ball, at least if you're a Ballers fan, because the Ballers getting out. But of course, they were hoping for a 3rd strike call and $5 beers, which now they will not have. As Will Butcher, the designated hitter, in the 6th spot, squares up. First pitch is taken for a ball. 1-0 to Will Butcher.
And Reed made a wonderful barehanded play on that last putout where he got the ball and tossed it to first.
Second pitch is fouled over on the first base side to make it 1-1. 1 out to Will Butcher, the designated hitter. As Reed squares up. Throws a pitch, dead ball in the dirt to make it 2-1 to Butcher.
Butts versus the Butcher here, Brian. Good bees matchup. You want to jump in? Yeah? You want to switch?
Yeah, no,
me?
you take it. You take it.
All right, here we go. We have a special guest in the booth. That pitch is confirmed to strike. All right, so Reed Butts looking to put away Butcher here as the MLB All-Star himself. Bipster 10, Bip Roberts, is in the house. Oakland native, a man that got 10 hits in 10 consecutive at-bats, if I remember correctly, Bipster.
You remember correctly. Let's see what happens.
Pop fly to Tremaine Cobb Jr., and that is 2 away.
You know, Casey, that was back in 1992. I have a hard time remembering what happened yesterday.
But the stats don't lie, and they live forever, Bipster.
I tell you what I do remember is that what I can tell you is I do remember being on a hot streak at that time.
That must have been a heck of a hot streak. Stephen Wilmer at the plate facing Reed Butts. Stephen Wilmer is a former Oakland baller. Reed Butts in his second year with the Ballers. And the 1-0 pitch is in, and that is a ball. So it is now 2-0 with 2 outs for Reed Butts facing Wilmer.
2-0 is always a good hitter's count.
And that is called a strike, so it is 2-1 now for Wilmer at the plate here facing Reed Butts. Bib, when you're locked in like that, man, what does that feel like?
Well, you remember when Michael Jordan was in the finals and everything that he shot went in and it was all net, and he just kind of shrugged like, that's what it feels like.
Once again, we are joined in the booth by MLB All-Star Bip Roberts, Oakland native and a man who frequents Raimondi Park. We joked today, as that ball is fouled back by Stephen Wilmer, that Bip now has a customary spot at Raimondi Park.
Yes, I do, right next to the dugout, on the field right next to the dugout. So I tell you, when the ball jumps off the bat, it's like, man, he really hit that ball hard. And these kids, man, I tell you what, they're going out there playing with a lot of energy. They got good fundamentals at the plate, and they make solid contact.
Strike 3, swinging. Reed Butts strikes out Wilmer, and that is going to end the inning. It is 0-0. The Ballers on 860 AM, The Answer. Welcome back to Oakland Ballers Baseball on 860 AM. The Answer. Casey Pratt here. I'm joined by MLB All-Star Bip Roberts, who has a customary spot here at Raimondi Park. And you know what was really cool for me, Bip, is I've known you for a really long time, something like 15 years. And when I first brought you in to check out Raimondi Park, we were standing down by the dugout, and I could tell that you really loved just being able to watch the game again, like at that ground level, and just feel the baseball, right?
You know, there is nothing like being on the field, whether you're a player or you're someone just watching the game. It's a different energy down there. And you get to see these guys out there really competing, and that's what I really like about, or what I should say, that's what I really miss about the game.
Yeah, and a 1-0 pitch outside to Cam Buford. And it's cool to hear somebody that played in the bigs to be able to come here and look at it and see it that way. It's really special that, you know, we're creating something here that is impressive to somebody like you that actually played in the major leagues.
Well, I think what's really impressive is that, you know, years ago we played high school baseball in this field.
Yeah,
And,
that's awesome, right?
The McClymonds baseball team played here, and I was coaching Skyline, and it wasn't a great field, and so we would try to 10-run rule them so we can get out of here. But now we like to play the entire game just to be able to enjoy the aesthetics of this game, or this field, so to speak.
Cam Buford popped it out for 1 out. Lou Helmick is at the plate. Yeah, we had a 20-0 victory in the previous road trip there. So as Lou Helmick fouls it down the left field line, that would have been one of those games you were talking about.
To keep the bus running, we won't be long.
So it's an 0-1 count after that foul ball by Lou Helmick, and we are waiting for the pitch from Evan Kowalski to come in. Lou is an incredible story, Bip. He's played baseball on 5 continents. That's a strike down the middle. He speaks 3 different languages. His grandfather is known as the godfather of German baseball, and this guy is a very, very athletically talented individual.
Yeah, before I came up here, he came over and said hello, and we talked and laughed a little bit. He said the team is winning, and, he's hitting as well.
Yeah.
And I said, what a great combination.
Yes, doesn't get much better than
It
that.
doesn't get much better than that.
That's a pitch inside for a ball. So we have a 1-2 count with 1 out to Lou Helmick, the German national.
Yeah.
His nickname was Big Germ when he first came here, but, oh, that is a liner to left, and he is out. That is 2 outs. Big Germ, a popular, very popular player here with the Oakland Ballers and amongst the fans. You often see people showing up with German flags at the games now.
Well,
as
that
Dylan
was,
Tatum steps to the plate.
that was a good piece of hitting right there. He stayed inside it, but he was able to drive it the opposite field, which now means his body's in position for his next at-bat. So that's what you like to do as a hitter. You want to hit the ball hard, but you want to get your body in position that first at-bat. Second at-bat, then we'll go up there and see if we can get results.
And Dylan Tatum takes a strike. So you had 10 hits and 10 consecutive at-bats. Dylan Tatum the other day drove in 10 runs. This guy had a huge series and was player of the week last week in the Pioneer League. He is having himself a great season as he takes another strike. Dylan Tatum, the team is rolling, right? Like, we have an 11-game win streak. Dylan Tatum's rolling. I saw him today for the first time, and I didn't even have to say to him. I just said, what the heck, Dylan? That's all I can, is I don't want to jinx anything. So the only thing I could think of is what the heck, and we just both looked at each other and laughed, and that was about it as he takes an outside pitch for a ball. Because you don't want to mess with someone's mojo. I mean, when they're locked in like that, you don't want to jinx anything.
So do you believe that baseball players are, superstitious?
Some
Do they have
some
superstitions,
are very
or-
superstitious. Some aren't, as you know, Bip. I don't know where you fell in that category.
Same socks after being washed, but the
Okay.
left leg first.
Left
I
leg
mean, if I
first.
get a hit that day, I'll do it again tomorrow.
See? As Tatum hits one to left, and he is going to be on board with a single. Dylan Tatum is absolutely raking this season. And, it's funny, Bip, in the Pioneer League, we're giving a lot of these players a second chance at a career. Maybe they didn't get drafted, they had the talent, but the draft has been cut back to less rounds. And it's sad when Dylan Tatum plays this well. Our hope is that he leaves. Like,
Yeah.
we want an MLB team to pick him up, but, selfishly we want him to stay forever. But we're all shouting from the mountaintops the type of year Dylan Tatum's having, because as a catcher, you got to think somebody would want to take a chance on him.
Well, and the thing is, you want to play well so that you can open the eyes of a lot of teams or whoever may be in this ballpark watching. So while he's unconscious and swinging the bat well, that's when a guy really gets eyes put on him. So we just let things play out and see what happens. But at this moment, he's playing some really good baseball.
1-0 pitch to Nick Leahy. He pops it up to shallow. First base is going to catch it, and that is the end of the inning. Still no score as the Ballers take on the Vibes here on 860 AM, The Answer. Welcome back to Oakland Ballers Baseball on 860 AM. The Answer. I'm joined by Bip Roberts, MLB All-Star, Oakland native, all-around great guy and a friend, and we are checking out this incredible Ballers team that's won 11 games in a row, and for planning purposes only, folks, planning purposes only, have a chance to clinch the postseason and home field advantage in this homestand. So, again, planning purposes only, no jinxes, right, Bip, as we just talked about, but this team is absolutely rolling.
Yeah, no jinxes. But you know what? It's always tough to clinch that last game. And so right now we have no score in the ball game. And it's normally going to come down to one or two at-bats or a pitch here or a pitch there. And that's how you get over the hump. You play these tough type of ball games to clinch the first half, and then you try to ride that momentum into the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. As Reed Butts' pitch is lined to left, and Lou Helmick is there to make the catch. What a catch by Lou Helmick. Like a gazelle out there.
That was a nice play. You see how that ball carved right back into him off a left-hander's bat? That's when you know that as a hitter you stayed in it, stayed inside it, and drove it the other way. But sometimes the outfielders, you know, they make good plays out there.
As you see Daryl Buggs and Lou Helmick do a nice celebration out there in the outfield. They like that one. And that is what you want to do as a hitter, but Lou was too quick for him. And here comes Reed Butts' pitch, and that is high for ball one.
You know, and that at bat, it just takes me back to, you know, when you get to the plate and you have an idea of what you're trying to do. And then you hit the ball hard, but again, you got like 9 guys out there ready to jump on that baseball.
Alonso Zuniga's at the plate. 1-1 count. Reed Butts adjusting his belt, getting ready to fire the next pitch in here. And yeah, it's interesting. The Ballers, they're contagious with the bats. Once they get rolling, they just get crazy, crazy hot. And so we'll see if that long road trip home and that late arrival time yesterday has them a little sluggish out the gates here.
Yeah, well, that pitch right there was inside. Did you see that last pitch, Casey?
Yeah, inside, 2-1.
And I jumped. I think I'm developing PTSD in my late ages. I'm up here flinching like I'm jumping out of the way.
I know if you were down there, you'd hit one out to left for sure. And that's a high pitch. Did he go around? And no, he did not. So it is a 3-2 count with 1 out to Alonso Zuniga from Reed Butts, the lefty. And here comes his next pitch. And he hits it to Tremaine Cobb at short. Cobb with a deep throw to first, and he gets him. Tremaine Cobb Jr., one of the best defensive players in all of NCAA. Bip, what do you think of that play?
I like the fact that he had to go to his right and then backhand and then make a strong throw. And he put that throw so accurate that it was right to the first baseman's chest. And that's what you want from your shortstop. Those plays right there is the difference between you being a shortstop and you being a second baseman.
It's a lot of range. You spent a lot of time at second base. You know what you're talking about there.
I might have bounced that one over there to first base.
Reed's pitch is in for a strike to Carter Booth. 2 outs for the Ballers defense here. Oh, he's laying down a bunt. That almost, man.
Where's your glove? You
That
don't
one
have a glove. How
Almost
are you
came
gonna
right
protect
to
me
me
up
and
here?
Bip. Yeah.
How are you going to protect me up here?
If I had that window open, I might have been able to reach out left and grab that one for us, Bip. You know, I've been to 1 million baseball games, never caught a foul ball in my life. I need to remedy that at some point.
At some point, it's going to happen.
2-2 count. Or, sorry, 0-2 count. Reed Butts looking for the strikeout. And that is inside for ball 1.
It's a good pitch. Try to run that in on his hands. Good little breaking ball. Had a little break late in the delivery, or should I say across the plate. It had a nice little break at the end. And so that's the one you get in on his hands right there. A little slider inside on his hands.
You know, one thing I noticed about Reed, he works quick, and I think that keeps hitters off balance. Doesn't give him time to adjust. That's a foul ball, so it's still a 1-2 count with 2 outs.
You know, when you're an infielder or in the outfield, and your pitcher gets the ball and he's throwing it, you're always on your toes. Now you can make good plays. You know, you're not sitting out there eating sunflower seeds, looking around in the stands and things like that. You're focusing on the strike zone, and the ball's hit, you're ready to make a play.
And that pitch is taken for a ball to Carter Booth, and it is a 2-2 count. And Bip, you and I worked together for a long time at NBC Sports.
Yes, we did.
One thing we did not like is when pitchers work slowly.
No. They didn't have a pitch clock back then, so
No,
we might
they
have a
didn't.
6-hour game.
And then it would go to extras, and then we'd have to sit around, and we'd have to wait for the ref and do the post-game show. And yeah, so When you work in professional baseball, as Bip and I did as broadcasters, you really don't like when pitchers work slow. You don't like when games drag on. You like
No.
nice, crisp, action-packed games.
Yeah, I remember one game I wasn't working. I was home, and it came on at 7. I fell asleep. It was 2 o'clock when I woke up, and they were still playing. I thought it was a replay, but it was the same game.
Now it is time for fans to get loud, as you can hear them getting pumped up out there. It is 3-2 Reed Butts' offering coming in with 2 outs, and that is high. He has walked the batter, Carter Booth. It is still 0-0 in the 3rd inning, and we are waiting to see what Reed does next. So, yeah, they have a runner on with 2 outs here, and Reed will continue working quick because that's what he does.
So Carter Booth had a pretty good at-bat that time. The first time he had a line drive, and this time he works a walk. So he's been on base twice today.
Alex Adams takes that first offering for a strike. So it is no balls, 1 strike, 2 outs for the Oakland Ballers and Reed Butts. That pitch is outside. It is a 1-1 count.
And what Reed can't do right now is worry about the runner at first. He's got to go after the hitter. Now, if Carter decides to steal a bag, and then let him have it, or, throw him out.
Next offering fouled down the 3rd base line. So the count remains 1-2.
But being a left-hander, he's keeping that runner close. The runner is just really just bouncing around trying to get in his head.
Yeah.
He's not thinking about going because he doesn't have a very good big lead. So if you don't have a very big lead, you're not going to steal that base.
All right, Reed getting set. 1-2 count to Alex Adams. The pitch is outside, so we're going to have a 2-2 count here. Nice play by Dylan Tatum, making sure that ball doesn't get away and keeping Carter Booth over there on first base. So runner on first, 2 outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Reed Butts getting ready to throw the ball. And he's set, and here comes the pitch. Another pitch outside, full count.
And, sometimes as a hitter, you have a guy on second, he's bouncing off there. It kind of can get you off, and that's what's happening at first base with Carter Booth. He's bouncing around over there, and so he's kind of distracting what's going on the mound.
And that is a strike 3 called. Reed Butts shuts it down, and it is 0-0. Heading into the bottom of the 3rd on 860M, The Answer.
Welcome back. This is Brian Carmel and Casey Pratt. This is Oakland Ballers Radio on 860 AM. We are heading into, what is it, Casey, the bottom of the 3rd?
Bottom of the 3rd here. And isn't it cool that we just have MLB All-Stars that just show up in the booth and hop on the broadcast unprompted just to have fun, man?
Bip Roberts in the house just said, hey, can I come up and be on the broadcast with you guys? We said, absolutely.
Yes.
We got Rick Barry, iconic Hall of Famer Rick Barry in the house, and then Bip Roberts shows up. Who's gonna come next? Who do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I might need to make a call and get Clifford Ray up here. He's got a beautiful baritone voice.
All right, leading off in the bottom of the 3rd for the Oakland Ballers, center fielder Darryl Buggs.
Buggs, another baller with some serious wheels, so if he can get on base, you got to look out. He's leading the team in stolen bases.
Darryl Buggs the 2nd. First pitch in for a strike, 0-1 to Darryl Buggs. Score still 0-0. Ballers have 2 hits, and the Rocky Mountain Vibes have 1 hit. No errors in the game so far. Always nice to see in a Pioneer League game as Daryl Buggs hits it to the shortstop,
Ooh, just in time.
but the throw is good just in time for 1 out, which brings up top of the order, our shortstop, Tremaine Cobb.
Now, what I like about the balance in this lineup that Aaron Miles has made is that you have a speedster at 9 and a speedster at the top. And I think that that puts a lot of pressure on the Rocky Mountain Vibes pitching staff.
Certainly
if these guys
does.
get on, you got to look out.
Tremaine Cobb went 1 for 1 today, had a single in the first inning. As Kowalski squares up, first pitch, in for a strike. 0-1 to Tremaine Cobb Jr. Second pitch is outside to even the count at 1-1 to Tremaine Cobb.
Hey, you mentioned earlier that opening night knockout round home run that Tremaine Cobb Jr. hit. That was one of the most special things I've seen here
It was
in our
magical.
short history.
Beautiful. I mean, opening night, June 4th, 2024, hard to beat. First game
Hard to beat.
at Raimondi Park in Oakland Ballers history, but this year, pretty good. And we ended up with a win.
A huge win. I mean, the guys
As
gelled
Kowalski
immediately.
throws another strike to even the count at 2-2.
Coming
1
off
out
that
to
home
Tremaine
run.
Cobb.
Gelled immediately. You saw it happen in real time. Their first real game together.
Just getting a text from my wife, Anime, who's listening with my son, Arlo, and she told me to tell Arlo that it's time to go to bed. Love you, Arlo. Time to go to bed. Where they are listening in Vermont.
I was about to say, it's only 7:18. That's a little early. But in
3
Vermont,
hours
it is
ahead.
not early.
As Tremaine Cobb hits it again to the shortstop for an easy out, 2 away. Play is good at first base, which brings up our right fielder, number 9, Isai Santos. Isai 0 for 1 today. Let's see what he can do here in a 2-out situation. First pitch. High and outside, taken for a ball, 1-0 to Isai Santos. 2 outs, bottom of the 3rd inning. See if the Ballers can make something happen.
It's another pitch outside. Looks like it's challenged.
Let's see. Pitch is a confirmed ball. So Rocky Mountain already out of challenges here in the 3rd inning as the pitch is a confirmed ball, 2-0 to Isai Santos.
It was a great challenge by Isai because that pitch was very much outside.
Kowalski winds up. Ooh, inside for another ball to make it 3-0 to Isai. Let's see what Kowalski does here. What do you throw? 3-0.
Fastball down the middle.
Up, it's
And
outside.
he walked him.
Four straight balls as Isai Santos takes first base to bring up the first baseman, Christian Almanza.
You got to be careful, Brian. When you throw too many balls in a row here as an opponent, the fans will start riding you, and they're going to get in your head. They're going to start making their sound effects, and I've seen the fans, believe it or not, the fans really get in the heads of opposing pitchers and affect the outcome of the game here at Raimondi Park.
Fans can get rowdy here at Raimondi Park. We consider it the 10th player on the field at any time as Christian Almanza pops up to left field. Let's see if that just foul. Wow, just short of the left field pole, 312 feet, but just foul to make it 0-1 to Almanza.
Almanza making his way back to the plate. Looks like he ran down the line on that one. Thought it might be fair.
Casey, when you were talking to Bip, I took an inning off and I went down and sat with some friends and I ran into Dylan Tatum's parents and his fiance. They're always here, and of course you can see his mom right there in front of us, who's always wearing a hat that says Tatum. Very proud of their son. I think 4 2-home run games already this season. As Kowalski throws one down the middle to make the count 0-2 to Christian Almanza.
And it's really fun when you see, you see Almanza's family here, you see Tatum's family here, you see Tilo's family here, and knowing these guys all grew up together and get to play together, and all just great guys.
That's a wild pitch. Wild pitch as Eastside takes second base to make it 1-2 to Almanza with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third.
Interestingly, Nevada Colon is pointing out that the Rocky Mountain Vibes are already out of challenges, Brian.
Very early in the game.
Yeah, very
One
early
of
in the
these
game.
teams is playing checkers and another team is playing chess, and I'm not going to say which is which.
Runner in scoring position here for Christian Almanza.
As Kowalski throws and Almanza fouls it back off our brand new netting here at Rondi Park. Every time it comes right towards us, I always get a little bit of a chill, and I'm very happy that the netting works.
Yes, it works. It's transparent, most importantly. Maybe not most importantly. I think working would be one, transparency would be two. But
We took out a bunch of foul poles
Yeah.
in the offseason, so now we've got great views from right behind the bowl as Kowalski tosses another one to right field. Oh, but it's caught for an inning-ending out. At the end of 3, the score is still 0-0. You are listening to Oakland Ballers Radio on 860 AM. I'm Brian Carmel here with Casey Pratt.
welcome back to Oakland Ballers Baseball on 860 AM, The Answer. It is still 0-0 here at Raimondi Park as the Ballers host the Rocky Mountain Vibes on a brisk Tuesday evening, celebrating the 1975 NBA champion Golden State Warriors, who are in the house. Amazing to have NBA Finals MVP Rick Barry out here with us. Clifford Ray, Charles Dudley, legends
And
in the NBA.
So far, we've got a pitching duel here in the 4th inning with the Ballers and the Rocky Mountain Vibes still tied 0-0. And speaking of pitching duels, looks like we've got a special guest here in the broadcast booth. It's Brody Iglite.
No way.
The Oakland Ballers pitcher who is on injured reserve, so who's here to join us.
You want to do this one, Brian? I'll
Sure.
jump out for Brody for sure.
Yeah, Brody's going to jump on in here with Casey. Welcome to Oakland Ballers Radio, Martinez's own Brody Iglite. How you doing, Brody?
Pretty good. How we doing?
We're good. Here, come on, take a seat. As Reed Butts throws it, and it's a bunt. Oh, Reed can't quite. That's a base hit. It's a bunt leadoff base hit for the Rocky Mountain Vibes. Bringing up Gary Laura, the first baseman, with Sam Linscott on first base after successfully bunting, leadoff bunt, which they've called a single, not an error on Reed Butts. How you doing, Brody?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing well. Pretty fun road trip.
Yeah,
You had
that was nice. 11-1.
11-1 as Reed Butts just outside corner to make it 1-0 to Gary Laura. So now, Brody, you probably know these guys much better than I do because you just faced them.
Yeah.
Tell me about as Gary Laura ropes a beautiful, that's going to be. Nicely played defensively as he stays, as Gary Laura stays at first base, but that, of course, puts Sam Linscott at third base, Gary Laura at first. as the Rocky Mountain Vibe have batters in the corner with no outs here in the top of the fourth inning. Brody, what do you know about Dane Toffland, who's up now with no outs and runners on the corners?
Well, I actually played against him last year too, and he's one of those hitters where if he gets a hold of the ball, it's going to go a long way. But don't tell him I said this, but there's a lot of holes in his swing that
Really?
he can kind of attack.
Okay, I won't tell him. I mean, you're saying it literally on the broadcast, but I won't tell him. As he
bunts.
Oh, as he
and we have
bunts a
nobody
single
else.
with nobody covering first to load the bases with no outs. What can you do? What a great bunt.
That was a good bunt.
Perfect bunt. What do you think? Was that coverable by second baseman Danny Harris?
It's kind of hard because you kind of want to play that first baseman and pitcher, kind of if you want to communicate a little bit better. But it's kind of hard for Danny trying to play a double play ball too, to run over to first and try and get that out. But
Reed Butts, your buddy Reed, finds himself a little bit of a pickle here in the fourth inning. Bases loaded, no outs as Reed gets ready to throw the first pitch, which is a ball to Will Butcher, the designated hitter, with the bases loaded. 1-0, still a 0-0 game. Let's see if Reed can work his way out of this one.
that'd be nice. We'll come back to him, home to first.
Otherwise, I'd say,
ideal.
Brody, that you're terrible luck. So
I
we'll
know.
see
I
what
might
happens.
have to get out of here.
We'll see what happens. Brody Aglite, Martinez native, grew up right here in the East Bay. And also second season, having an incredible season with the Oakland Ballers. How's it being back here for a second year, Brody?
It's fun. It's fun. It kind of gives me like I'm an older player in college. Kind of some of the new guys coming in not knowing what to expect. But no, everything's been pretty good. We're actually doing very well this year.
We're doing okay. We're doing
And
okay.
the big thing I think is nobody's really on edge in there. We're all just playing kind of freely and not really looking at standings or scores, just going out there and playing pitch by pitch.
What's the biggest difference between the 2025 Ballers, this year's team, and last year's squad?
I think a little bit to what I said in the previous answer is kind of just playing nice and free. And
As Reed throws a strike to make it 1-1, even the count to still to Will Butcher, the designated hitter, 1-1. Outside ball, making it 2-1 to Butcher. So what would you throw here? 2-1.
2-1, I'd
No
probably
outs.
go. For me, I'd probably go curveball.
What do you think Reed's going to do?
I'd probably go outside fastball, I'd assume.
Outside fastball.
Or for him, it's a sinker. But
Brody knows of what he speaks. As Butcher fouls one off to even the count at 2-2, no outs here in the top of the fourth inning. Reed throws. Oh, a swing and a miss to strike out.
strikeout.
To strike out Will Butcher. All we need is 2 more of those to get out of the inning. Let's see if we can do it against a former Oakland Baller, the left fielder, Stephen Wilmer. Did you get a chance to get to know Stephen Wilmer last year? He joined the team in that trade mid-season.
Yeah, a little bit. He was actually a really good guy. I was bummed we didn't get him back this year, but I'm glad to see he's still playing. But, yeah, got to talk to him a little bit today.
As Reed throws, ooh, and a double play to end the inning, and Reed gets out of what was an incredibly harrowing pickle of a situation. Reed Butts is able to make his way out of the inning, keeping the score at 0-0. It was
Just how you drew it up.
As we show the replay, it was a little peddler of a hit back to the mound. Reed throws it home, and then the catcher, Dylan Tatum, throws it to Christian Almonds at first base for an inning-ending double play. 8:60 a.m. The Answer. Brian Carmel with Brody Aglite. We don't know what you want to stay on for the Ballers for a half inning? Yeah. Who's up now? It's great because he knows stuff.
Yeah, Brody, your cadence is really good because like you're waiting for the call to happen, then you're just jumping in. It's perfect. Yeah, it's a little tricky. It like takes a minute to get the rhythm down. Yeah, very good.
This is fun.
That's a good time. I want to say I kind of spoke that into existence.
Yeah.
Brian and Brody.
This is Brian Carmel. I'm here with Brody Aglite, who's our special guest for the inning. Brody Aglite, Oakland Ballers pitcher, as leading off for the Ballers is number 4, Danny Harris, playing second base tonight. Now, Brody, a second ago, you said that you think that Reed Butts got himself in a little bit of a pickle.
Yeah.
Loaded the bases with no outs, but he was able to get out of it. And Brody here is pretty sure that he willed that into existence.
Hey, I think Reed just likes to work out of tough situations. He's very good at it.
As Kowalski throws what I think is a big, big fastball, Harris takes a huge cut to make it 0-1 to Danny Harris. Danny Harris having a great season for us. Ooh, the pitch is straight down the middle for a strike, making it 0-2 to Danny Harris. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, 0-0 game between the Rocky Mountain Vibes and the Oakland Ballers. As Danny fouls it back, stay at 0-2. Now, Brody, you guys probably know the Vibes pretty well. I mean, you just played 6 games against the Vibes. So what's the scouting report on Kowalski?
Honestly, that he just likes to throw a lot of fastballs for strikes, and then when he gets to his favorable counts, he kind of does what a typical pitcher will do, is just try and throw his off speed. But we know he likes to kind of establish his fastball, try and get you down the count, and then throw his junk.
As Kowalski throws a ball to make it 1-2 to Danny Harris. No outs here at the bottom of the 4th inning. Gets ready to pitch. Ooh, that's going to be inside for a ball, making it 2-2, evening the count. What do you think Danny's looking for here now that it's 2-2?
Probably say something that he can. I'd say a fastball.
Fastball?
Something that he can kind of get his hands to and get extended on.
As Kowalski pitches, ooh, and Danny lines it to the first baseman for an easy out, first out of the inning. Bringing up the designated hitter, Cam Buford. Now, Brody, I have to make a correction. I had said earlier in the broadcast that Dylan Tatum had 4 2-home run games, but he actually has 5 2-home run games. 5. So I apologize to Dylan for slighting him one of those 2-home run games. Nevada Cullen texted me that correction. I appreciate it, Nevada. Texting in from Tallahassee, where he is doing some wedding planning.
Oh, nice.
As Kowalski throws a ball, making it 1-0 to Cam Buford. Next pitch in for a strike, evening the count at 1-1. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning to Cam Buford. 0-0 game. So, Brody, you're a little bit hurt. What's going on?
Just kind of warming up for my start in Boise, and felt a little pain in my back that I don't think I could give my 100%. So
1-2 to Cam Buford. Little back situation.
Yeah, just trying to nurse that best I can. I don't want it to linger on at all during the season, so we just came to an agreement that maybe take a week and a half, 2 weeks off, and get back to where we left off.
Sounds good. As Kowalski evens the count at 2-2. Here's the pitch. Oh, in for a big swing and a miss as Cam Buford strikes out to make it 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bringing up Lou Helmig, our left fielder. Tell me about Lou. Kind of an interesting fellow. His grandfather, the first major leaguer ever to come out of the country, Germany.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And Lou, big personality.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
What's it like playing with Lou Helmig on your team?
Oh, he's great. Lou,
1-0.
You would never think that he comes from a major league family. He's
Really?
kind of laid back, kind of real down to earth. One thing I thought was cool about Lou is he can obviously speak German, but he's also fluent in Spanish.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh. Next pitch goes in for a strike, evening the count at 1-1 to Lou Helmig. Now, I know we did a video where we interviewed a bunch of ballers and said, who is the Oakland baller that is toughest to be on a road trip with? And there were a lot of Lou Helmig answers, but I think it was joking as Lou fouls one back, making it 1-2 to Lou Helmig here with 2 outs. I think people were joking just because he's got kind of he's a big presence in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I think he's got a big personality. He's
kind of a ridiculous guy, but in a good way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think some were joking. Maybe I don't know, I've never been a roommate with him, but I wouldn't mind going with them on a road trip.
As Kowalski throws, and Lou, let's see, fouls it back. 1-2 here with 2 outs, bottom of the 4th inning. Ooh, onto a car. You don't want to park next to Ramondi Park, and don't say that we didn't warn you, because it's all over our website. Things happen to cars that are parked here as Kowalski throws, and Lou fouls one down the first base line. He's hanging in there. Nice at bat. Of course, pitchers don't like these, 8, 9, 10 pitch at bats because they're just eating up your pitch count, right?
Yeah, they are. They're just kind of vibe killers. Because you're throwing everything at them and they're still hitting it, so you really don't think you have anything you can get them out with.
The windup. Ooh, and he fouls it back again. Lou hanging in there. 2 outs, nobody on here in the 4th inning. Quite a pitcher's duel we got going.
I know, surprisingly.
Doesn't happen a lot in the Pioneer League.
Yeah. I mean, I have faith in Reed, but the way we hit last week, I'm surprised that it's still 0-0.
No, a 20-0 game.
Yeah.
Against the Rocky Mountain Vibe. Oh, as Lou Helmig grounds it straight up the middle, just over the pitcher, in for a single. You hear the calls of what sounds like boo, but is actually Lou.
Yeah.
As the Ballers get a base hit, bringing up the man himself that we were just mentioning, Dylan Tatum, the catcher, the man who has 5 2-home run games so far this season, which is, I would say, pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I think they're all within the last 2 weeks, too, so it's been pretty fun to watch this little streak that he's on.
As Dylan up pops one, that's going to
just missed it.
Just missed it to center field, and that's going to be an inning-ending pop-out to the center fielder. 0-0 after 4. Brian Carmel here with my guest, Brody Iglite. You are listening to 860 AM The Answer. This is Oakland Ballers Radio. Brian Carmel here with my special guest, Brody Iglite, Oakland Ballers pitcher, who is doing a short stint on the injured list. As we enter the top of the 5th inning, Reed Butts on the mound still for the Oakland Ballers. Reed made it interesting last inning, Brody, getting into a bases-loaded, no-out situation, and was able to get a strikeout and then an inning-ending double play. What do you think is going to happen here?
Long inning, last inning. Reed exerted some energy through some pitches. I think this inning's going to go very quick for him. I can see a 3 up, 3 down real quick. Maybe sprinkle a strikeout in there, but I see 3 outs coming quickly.
All right. The second baseman, Ernie Yake, up to lead off for the Rocky Mountain Vibes. What do you know about Yake?
I believe he's a coach this year, I think, but they're using I think they were activating him because of some depth chart troubles, but I remember playing against him last year as well. He's a real good hitter.
0 for 1 tonight, and first pitch in for a strike. Brody, what's your favorite Reed Butts story?
Oh man, where do I start?
As Reed tosses another one that looks like it should be an easy out, popped out to left field.
I honestly don't have too many stories with Reed, but I'll just say the first day I met him, we were talking for like 2 hours, and I just knew he had an outgoing personality. and instantly click with him.
Instantly clicked as Alonzo Zuniga, the catcher, comes up with 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Instantly click with Reed, and he's a pretty funny, outgoing guy.
Oh, for sure.
As Alonzo fouls one back.
He's the type of guy he could pretty much talk and connect with anybody. You
Yeah.
know, even if he knows you for 20 minutes or 20 years.
Reed throws, swing and a miss, making it 0-2 here in the top of the 5th inning with 1 out to the catcher, Alonzo Zuniga. Reed is from, I think, Rockford, Illinois? I know he's from Illinois, yeah.
I believe so.
Oh, as Alonzo hits it to second baseman Danny Harris, throws to Krishna Almanza for an out, making it 2 outs, bringing up the center fielder and the leadoff hitter, number 8, Carter Booth. Now, Carter is 1 for 1 tonight. I think he opened the game with a single. Let's see if Reed can keep things less interesting in this inning than he did in the last inning where he loaded the bases. First pitch, inside, but for a strike. Beautiful pitch, painting the inside corner.
And the good thing for us is they are out of challenges as well, so they can't challenge the strike zone.
That is nice. Very early in the game to be out of challenge. Oh, as Booth ropes a nice blooper single to left field where Lou Helmig easily fields it, but Rocky Mountain has a batter, has a runner on, bringing up Alex Adams, the shortstop, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Let's see what Reed does. I probably jinxed the situation by saying that Reed is going to keep it interesting.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but you know.
Reed throws, first pitch, taken low for a ball, 1-0, 2 outs with Carter Booth on first base. Another ball, making it 2-0. Now, a lot of returning pitchers, not a lot of returning position players. Let's see. Reed Butts, Brody Aglite, Luke Short, Connor Sullivan. Who else?
We got
Carson Lambert,
Connor Richardson,
Shuey. A lot of returning pitchers.
Yeah.
Nice to have that kind of consistency.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and of course, Zach St. Pierre.
Yeah. Yeah.
How could I forget Zach? our own, sometimes Greg Maddox, 3-0
That's right.
to Alex Adams. I remember last year, Zach St. Pierre had a tough first half of the season, and then his wife, Kiana, sat him down and said, get it together. And in the second half of the season, he literally, the data was insane. He painted the corner. It looked like Greg Maddox. He painted the corner of the strike zone.
Oh, yeah.
His last, 7 starts.
Yeah.
Consistently as Reed walks Adams to bring it to 2 base runners, bringing up the right fielder, Sam Linscott.
Yeah, it was funny. Last year, me and Zach actually had a similar start to the year. We both started struggling.
Yeah, you also turned things around.
Yeah, not the best start for us, but I think we rebounded well and
You have. And you
finished out the year.
finished out the year and then kept it going into this year. You're having a heck of a year. You must be feeling good.
Yeah, not too bad. Trying to adjust from the bullpen to the starting rotation and just trying to, get my stamina for starting and just keep it going.
Now, Brody, am I correct in believing that you are recently engaged?
I am, yeah. Yeah, as of April 16th of this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
As Reed throws another ball, making it 2-0 to Sam Linscott. So any wedding plans so far? Obviously, you're going to do it at Ramondi Park.
Of course, yeah, right on the pitcher's mound there. But no, we got a place in San Ramon
Okay.
called Wedgwood Weddings. I can't remember the golf course's name, but we got that spot locked up already. So now
Amazing.
So now she's handling all the, the guests. She's handling all the hard stuff, and I'm just kind of sitting back and,
Rachel.
Yeah.
I want to say Rachel. I've met her a couple times.
Yeah.
Lovely lady. I'm very, very excited for Brody and Rachel and their upcoming wedding, and just wishing you guys nothing but the best.
I appreciate
How
it,
did you
yeah.
and Rachel meet?
Actually, at San Francisco State, my brother and her brother played on the same team together, and we both went to a game to go watch them, and then we saw each other, said hi, and then
Ooh, as Reed throws a single, and that will single by Sam Linscott, and that scores a run, making it 1-0 Rocky Mountain Vibe, with runners on first and second base to bring up Gary Laura, the first baseman. Reed getting himself into a little bit of trouble here in the top of the fifth inning, as Rocky Mountain puts itself on the board, thereby ending what had been a shutout by both teams. Reed gets ready to pitch, throws it inside, 1-0 to Gary Laura. What do you know about Laura?
I didn't know much about him going into last week, but watching his at bats, he takes a real big swing at the ball, and if you miss a pitch, he'll definitely be one to make you pay because he's got a lot of power.
Ooh, big hack, big swing, evening the count at 1-1 to Laura. Let's see if Reed can get out of this inning. Reed is usually pretty cool, calm, and collected. I will say that about him.
Yeah. One thing about Reed is when he gets out of a tough situation, he will let everybody know that he's fired up. And that's one of the things I like about him, too. He, just like last inning, bases loaded with no outs, he got out of it, and he really made sure everyone know that he was fired up.
Yeah. Wears his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah, absolutely.
You definitely know what Reed is thinking because he's going to tell you. And just really clubhouse leader.
Yeah. And he's one to pick guys up, too. You know, you pitch well. You know, he'll congratulate you. You don't pitch very well, he'll still come up to you and say, hey, you get the next one. So,
well, let's see if he can get out of this. 1-1, 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. Runners on first and second to Gary Laura. As Reed winds up the pitch, Laura pops it up to the center fielder, and Daryl Buggs makes the catch to end the inning, taking us to the bottom of the fifth. 1-0 Rocky Mountain Vibe. This is Oakland Ballers Radio on 860. This is Oakland Ballers Radio. Brian Carmel and Casey Pratt. If you tuned in hoping for Nevada Cullen and Tyler Peterson, you've got another thing coming to you. We've taken over the show tonight on a beautiful Tuesday here in Oakland, California. Sun is starting to set. 1-0 Rocky Mountain Vibes. Let's see if Oakland can make something happen here in the bottom of the fifth inning.
Leading off for the Ballers, the third baseman.
As third baseman Nick Leahy comes up to bat. Casey, what do you think about Leahy?
Leahy's been a good addition for the Ballers. Was not on the team to start the season, joined us midway through, and has been a good, solid player for us.
First pitch, a little bit outside, 1-0 to Leahy. Kowalski's pitching a great game. Ballers have 3 hits so far, but haven't been able to put any runs on the board as second pitch in for a strike, evening the count at 1-1.
But we did just do the hot dog toss, and I know the hot dog toss fires everybody up, so let's see if that gets these bats going.
As Leahy fouls it back against the net, making it 1-2. Hot dog toss, usually you, Casey, are riding the bike, and it looked like it was Maya and Mia from our entertainment crew, and it looked like they were struggling a bit
It was
without
a little
you.
wobbly. I'm not gonna lie. I was
on
a
the
little
bike.
nervous watching that bike
Yeah.
ride. Far less nervous than if I was on the bike.
Ooh, as Leahy ropes one right to the shortstop for an easy out. One away here in the bottom of the 5th. And that brings up center fielder Daryl Buggs.
Let's shout out right now the people on the YouTube live stream too. And I know that now on the live stream where you're listening to us, there are some stats. We've made some improvements thanks to the great Brendan Coulthurst who's put this together. And
Shout out to Brendan
shout out
Cookies
to Brendan.
Coulthurst.
Yeah, and I love seeing everybody commenting in this chat, which is pretty cool.
First
So,
pitch in for a strike to Daryl Buggs.
as Brian and I fumble our way through the broadcast.
Yeah, what are they saying?
They've been very nice to us in the chat.
Okay, are we getting
They've been Very
positive?
nice, yes.
Is it mostly my mom?
It's all your mom.
Ooh, just foul past the first baseman to make it 0-2. Daryl Buggs, that would have gone for extra bases.
And as we call a baseball game for the first time, I know nobody's more nervous right now watching this than Jeff and Nancy Butts in the YouTube chat as they enjoy Reed Butts on the mound today.
Big swing and a miss to Daryl Buggs to strike out. That's 2 away, and that's going to bring up top of the order Tremaine Cobb, the shortstop. See if Tremaine can get something going here for the Oakland Ballers in the 5th inning. Not a lot of offense after a road trip with a lot of offense, including a 20-0 game against this very Rocky Mountain Vibes team. As Kowalski pitches, first pitch in for a strike. A little bit high, but paints the top of the strike zone 0-1 to Cobb here in the bottom of the 5th. Next pitch, just a bit outside.
Yeah, and you know what I like about both these pitchers today? They both work fast. I know there's a pitch clock, but they're quick, and they're getting to the plate fast. And that is, again, something that I really appreciate watching baseball.
Inside to make it 2-1 to Tremaine Cobb Jr.
Tremaine Cobb Jr. was at the library today reading to kids in West Oakland before the game.
What a guy. That means hopefully some positive karma that will translate to here in the 5th inning, because the Ballers could use a base runner as Kowalski winds up. The pitch is... looks like it's going to drop for a single. Might go for extra bases. He's going for second, and he easily makes it in for a double.
Tremaine Cobb really lined that ball into the left center gap. The left fielder had a chance on it, but missed it as it got past him, and Cobb easily motored into second.
Let's see if Isai Santos can make it happen. Little 2-out rally here in the 5th inning. I'm hearing chants of "Let's go Oakland." Pretty rowdy crowd here for a Tuesday.
Yeah, I just ran downstairs and I was talking to Charles Dudley of the Champion Warriors, and we were talking about how this place really does fill up. It's a late arriving crowd. Sometimes I wish they'd arrive earlier for the pregame festivities, but they sure packed the place tonight.
As Kowalski throws a ball, making it 1-0 to Isai Santos.
One hit here by Isai evens this game up at 1, and the Ballers, I believe, are ready to catch fire as the wave is getting started out in right field.
The wave, which of course started in Oakland, as Kowalski throws one in for a strike, making it 2-1.
What I like about this is there's a gap between right field and behind home.
Excuse me,
so
1-1.
the wave often dies there. So right field has taken it upon themselves to just do the wave. It's only right field, and they're doing the wave all by
That's
themselves.
right. There's a wave, but there's some eddies and flurries as Santos fouls one back, making it 1-2. Up there's the wave going. The Oakland 68s, of course, our fan support group here in full effect tonight. Here in the drums, over in the bleachers, and yep, there's a wave that is moving back and forth across the right field bleacher.
As waves often do. They hit one shore and then bounce back to the other.
It is the nature of waves, both sound waves and ocean waves, as Isai strikes out to end the inning. After 5, score remains 1-0 Rocky Mountain. This is Brian Carmel and Casey Pratt, Oakland Ballers Radio. Oakland Ballers Radio. Brian Carmel and Casey Pratt here. If you were expecting Nevada Colon and Tyler Peterson, you've got another thing coming to you. We have purposefully injured them, and we are taking over the broadcast tonight. That's right.
None of that is true. None
Okay,
of that is
we
true.
didn't purposely
No.
injure them. We would not do that. We love them.
Ooh, we have a beer batter coming
Got a
up here,
beer batter.
Brian. Audience at home,
Okay.
I know you can't get a $5 East Brothers beer if he strikes
Third
out here,
baseman
but you're
Dane
with us in spirit.
Toffland is the beer batter. First pitch is a ball, 1-0. Dane Toffland, the beer batter, which means, Casey, you want to explain what a beer batter is?
Beer batter means if the batter strikes out, everyone runs the concession stands and gets discounted beer.
Next pitch in for, nope, a ball.
That's not going to make the
2-0.
fans happy as they want to strike out here, Brian. So, yes, if Reed strikes out this batter, everyone will run to the concessions and get a $5 East Brothers beer at Raimondi Park.
Next pitch, 3-0. You know, Nevada Colon is texting me asking what his imaginary injury is, and it was actually an alligator attack at the airport in Tallahassee as Reed Butts throws a strike to make it 3-1. Nevada had a run-in with an alligator at the Tallahassee airport, and minor cut on his left ankle, but put him out for the night, and so we're all sending him blessings. And I am just kidding. Nevada was not attacked by an alligator. Reed Butts. Next pitch in for a strike straight down the middle, 3-2.
Full count, and the We Want Beer chants are starting, Brian.
Okay, we want beer. Reed Butts winds up, throws, and, fouled back. That one looked like it was going to hit us, Casey.
If that fancy net that we installed wasn't there, that would have come right to us. But at Raimondi Park in West Oakland, we only have the fanciest of nets.
One pitch away from a beer batter and another foul ball. That looks like it's going to go over to past the right field bleachers.
The fans' hopes remain alive. 3-2 full count.
To beer batter Dane Toffland, the third baseman for the Vibe. And no beer batter tonight as he ropes a pop-up to right field for an easy out, which is a mixed bag. We get the out, but we don't get the $5 beers. Of course, that brings up the designated hitter, Will Butcher, in the 6th spot with one out. Here in the top of the 6th inning, 1-0 game in favor of the Vibes. Reed Butts pitches. First pitch in for a strike straight down the middle. Now, Casey, Ballers had to come in cocky, hopefully not complacent after taking down the Vibes in 6 straight games in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, a rare 6-game sweep, especially on the road. First 6-game sweep in Ballers history.
As Butcher sends one to the shortstop, and Tremaine
Amazing
Cobb
play.
makes an easy play. Great throw to Christian Almanza for the second out of the inning. Bringing up left fielder Stephen Wilmer. Stephen Wilmer, who came over to the Ballers on that midseason trade that sent Trevor Halsema and Austin Davis to the Vibe. Stephen Wilmer, great player, great clubhouse guy, wishing him nothing but the best, but hope he can't execute here. First pitch, in for a strike. Am I allowed to say that? Am I supposed to be impartial?
Why not?
Casey?
We're filling in here.
We're
due
filling
to
in.
alligator-related
2
injuries.
strikes. In full disclosure, I'm one of the co-founders of the Ballers. I'm not impartial.
Not
I'm
at all.
Literally not impartial.
You know, when you're broadcasting, you can either call it down the line or you could go full homer. I think when you're one of the co-founders of the team, you actually have the right to go full homer. We're hearing from the PA down there, Mark, no full homer. So we'll keep it.
Okay, a slight bias from PA Mark Kahn, who doubles as the team's general counsel.
I think he's worried you're going to get sued if you go full homer, Brian.
You know, always great to have your lawyer. What you want to do is you want to give your lawyer another job on the team. We've made our lawyer the public address announcer. That way he's around. If anything happens, we've got our lawyer here.
Correct.
Sometimes he brings cookies from Kahn's confection. Oh, and Reed Butts strikes out Wilmer to end the inning. 1-0 Rocky Mountain as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Oakland Ballers Radio. Oakland Ballers Radio, here we are in the bottom of the 6th inning as Rocky Mountain hangs on to a 1-0 lead against the Oakland Ballers. Let's see if the Ballers can make something happen. This is Brian Carmel. I'm joined by Casey Pratt. We are subbing for Nevada Cullen and Tyler Peterson. I had said in the last half inning that Nevada was attacked by an alligator at the Tallahassee airport. And I hope that everybody realizes that I was kidding. I know that alligator attacks are real.
Yeah, it was a crocodile.
It was a crocodile.
It was actually a crocodile. It wasn't an alligator.
Right. And I think crocodiles and alligators, of course, have a long-standing rivalry. And since Nevada Cullen himself is a gator, being from University of Florida, I think a crocodile felt jealous and attacked. First pitch to Christian Almanza is a ball. And it looks like we have a new pitcher, Casey, for the Vibes, number 4.
And that's going to be a welcome sign for the Ballers.
Yeah, because Kowalski brought it. Tom Peltier now pitching for the Rocky Mountain Vibes, number 4.
Sometimes, Brian, you just want to get into that soft bullpen underbelly and work your magic.
As Peltier throws another ball, making it 2-1. Of course, that bullpen underbelly for the Oakland Ballers has been quite strong this year. If you look at players like Brody Glite, Carson Lambert, Connor Sullivan,
The
Chewy.
Ballers underbelly is
tight.
Is cartilaged out like a
It really
like
is.
a beastly crocodile or alligator.
Peltier evens the count at 2-2. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning to Christian Almanza, the first baseman. As Peltier winds up. Ooh. Christian Almanza takes a big swing and miss as Peltier is able to get a strikeout. 1 out, bringing up second baseman Danny Harris. Let's see what Danny can do. Danny Harris, I believe the 4th. Danny Harris.
Yes. And he did say on one occasion that he doesn't plan to continue that down the family lineage. So I think Danny Harris the 4th, if he has a kid, might be
Danny.
the end of the Harris line there.
How Danny takes a big swing, making it 0-1. What made Danny come to that decision? Did you?
I didn't dive deep into that, but I would think if you had the opportunity to make the 5th, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, of course. Why would you? I want to be Danny Harris
He's
the
his
5th.
own man, though. He wants to do his own thing.
As Peltier throws it outside, evening the count at 1-1. That's interesting. What else did Danny tell you about his family?
That wasn't me. I believe that was a conversation
Okay.
that was had.
Secondhand.
Secondhand.
As Danny takes a big swing and whiff, making it 1-2. Peltier. Tom Peltier pitching. I think I had pronounced it Peltier, but it's Peltier. The French-Canadian spelling.
Yes.
Tom Peltier. 1-2 to Danny Harris the 4th, the end of the lineage for the Harris clan.
Well, they can continue. He just doesn't want to continue with the name and
Oh, I see.
convention.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Might be other.
The lineage will continue.
It might be
yeah.
like William Harris
Yeah,
the
yeah.
1st, or Caleb Harris even, or
Correct.
Casey Harris.
Could be. I don't know if he respects me enough to go that route, but I would be honored.
Ooh.
All right.
As Peltier, did that hit Danny Harris? And they're looking and deciding, nope, it's just a ball, making it 3-2, which I believe in baseball language is called a full count. 1 out here to Danny Harris in the bottom of the 6th inning. Full count to Danny Harris. Let's see what Peltier throws. Ooh, Danny pops it up.
That's going out.
Hanging in there. It's going probably over to concessions. And always exciting, and you got to stay on your toes here at Raimondi Park because you never know where a foul ball might land. Now, Casey, I believe that you are one of the masterminds behind the Anything in a Helmet franchise here at Raimondi. Tell me about it. As Peltier throws a ball walking Danny Harris as the Ballers get a much-needed base runner here in the bottom of the 6th.
Here's the Anything in a Helmet lore. Ballers co-founder Paul Friedman and I were texting one night, and I believe, I can't remember if he sent it to me or I sent it to him, but the Dodgers had tiramisu in a helmet, and we were like, what is this madness? What could we put in a helmet?
Which is, by the way, you know, a little bit pretentious.
It's very, yeah. And so we started kind of thinking about what we could put in a helmet here at
0-1 to
Raimondi
Cam
Park.
Buford.
And the answer quickly became anything.
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 Literally anything.
Literally anything. And it cracked us up enough that we said, all right, now we got to see how much as the pitch comes in, and it is a strike. 0-2 count. So
0-2 to Buford.
we were looking then, can we acquire helmets? How quickly can we get helmets? What
Hard
do
to
helmets
acquire
cost?
things like helmets.
Yeah,
There's
a lot
something
of
going on
issues
with
going on
tariffs.
with global supply chain, as we've
I don't know
learned.
if you guys have heard about that.
And so
Peltier delivers the pitch. Oh, is Cam Buford just over the shortstop for a base hit, but Danny Harris is held at second base as the Ballers have 2 base runners, I think maybe for the first time this game, bringing up the left fielder, Big Germ, they call him, number 28, the left fielder, Lou Helmig.
And that ball was lined just over the glove of the shortstop. He made a great leap at it, and it was perfectly placed for a single as Lou comes up here.
Alex Adams, the shortstop, can't quite make the play. Peltier winds up and throws. First pitch outside for a ball, 1-0 to Big Germ, as they call him. You hear always when Lou's up the sound of ooh, and it kind of sounds like a boo, but it's not. They are actually chanting Lou. I don't think anybody's booing Lou.
What's his name? Lou.
Next pitch, fouled back, evening the count 1-1 to Lou Helmig.
Lou, one time, Brian, I was leaving Raimondi Park, and I stumbled upon him and Isai Santos, and Lou had Isai on his shoulders, and he was repping out squats. He was literally squatting Isai Santos. It was one of the coolest workouts I've ever seen, and very impressive.
And I want you guys to know, this is, in fact, the first time the Ballers have had 2 runners on. Nevada, who's texting, Nevada Cullen, confirmed. So I am giving myself a pat on the back for getting that right.
I think it's impressive that Nevada's able to text with his alligator-related finger injury.
Well, it was an ankle injury.
Oh,
it was an ankle injury.
My bad.
As Peltier delivers.
I mixed
a
up
ball.
the made-up injuries.
Evening it up 2-2. I hope he is able to, his leg's able to recover in time for his wedding from the crocodile injury that he suffered at the Tallahassee airport. As Peltier winds up the pitch. Ooh, just over the shortstop, Alex Adams.
And he
for
whiffed.
a single.
He whiffed on the
It's
ball.
a double. He whiffed on the ball. Lou Helmig makes it to second. And Danny Harris scores. Lou Helmig, an RBI. And we've got a tied game here, folks. And you hear the sounds of Lou. The Ballers have tied it. Little 2-out rally. Lou's on second. Buford's on third. And that brings up a man who has had a pretty good last couple of weeks, Dylan Tatum, the man of 5 2-home-run games. Let's see if the Ballers can continue the rally here.
Let's see if they put him on first. I don't know if you want
No.
to pitch to Dylan Tatum with runners on second and third.
Okay.
We'll see what they
Now-
do here. This is an interesting move for the Vibes.
Peltier winds up, First pitch. Did he go around? They're saying no, he didn't. So 1-0. And was that an error? There's a lot of lively discourse about whether that last play was an error by the center fielder.
Well, for those listening, Lou lined it to left just where Buford lined it, but the ball got past the outfielder all the way to the wall when he could have made a play on it. So the discussion happening in the press box is related to whether or not the outfielder could have made a play on the ball, which led to more bases being advanced. But it was clearly a hit prior to what may have been a fielding.
1-1 to Tatum. The pitch inside for a ball. 2-1 to Dylan Tatum. It was an RBI. It was an error. And the game is tied 1-1 as Peltier pitches and Dylan Tatum fouls it back. You know, if Dylan can make something happen here, I have a direct line at his mother, his father, and his fiance, and so I will get to see the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat, depending on what happens with Dylan Tatum in this at-bat from 3 very invested members of his immediate family as the pitch in from Peltier. Ooh, a strike. And Tatum strikes out. I had said there was 2 outs. That there was 1 out. Now there's 2 outs, and that brings up Nick Leahy, the third baseman for the Ballers. Let's see if Leahy can make something happen with 2 outs. And he fouls it off. 0-1. Runners on second and third base. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ballers have tied it 1-1, trying to take their first lead of the game against relief pitcher Peltier.
Big swing and a miss.
Big swing and a miss. I'd like to tell you Peltier's first name, but I don't know. It's Tom. Tom Peltier. 0-2 to Leahy.
The YouTube live stream chat is really saying that we need Tatum tater tots here at Ramondi Park.
In a helmet.
In a helmet.
That'd be pretty good.
Ooh, boy.
Leahy.
Absolutely smashing it.
It's gone. Smashes it. A home run for Nick Leahy. A 3-run blast, making it 4-1 Oakland here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
And that's absolutely what the Oakland Ballers needed. They just needed to break the seal, get that run. Leahy comes up to the plate, drives a pitch deep to left center field, and the Ballers have broken this one open, Brian.
Wow, we went into this inning down 1-0, and now we're up 4-1. Nick Leahy, what an addition to the Ballers to make it 4-1, and we'll see if Darryl Buggs, the center fielder, can keep things going. Of course, Leahy cleared the bases. 4-1 game. This is Oakland Ballers baseball as Peltier pitches outside 1-0 to start things off. Now I feel bad that I both didn't know his first name, which is Tom, and I started the inning by mispronouncing his name as Peltier when it's Peltier. I'm sorry, Tom Peltier, and I really do wish you the best.
Yeah, but he did give up 4 runs.
He did just give up 4 runs. It's now 1-1 count to Darryl Buggs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Tom Peltier throws it outside again, 2-0. You know, I really like the last name Peltier, and you know, Nevada, who's out nursing an imaginary crocodile injury, has started the Pioneer League All Names team.
Captained by Reed Butts, I would imagine.
Captained by Reed Butts, of members of the Pioneer League with interesting names. And Nevada, when you do come back, I want to nominate Tom Peltier. I think that's a great name for the Pioneer League All Names team. But wishing you the best of luck as you nurse that crocodile injury as Buggs takes it inside to even the count 2-2, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Oh, no, full count. Thank you. Booney corrected me. Full count to Darryl Buggs. Peltier winds up, throws outside. Walked him.
So now you have some speed on the base paths here with 2 outs. Tremaine Cobb Jr. in the top of the lineup, stepping to the plate. And this crooked inning for the Ballers may not be over yet, Brian.
No. Ballers have extended things, and Tremaine Cobb has some speed, has some pop as well. As I see Ice Cold Kenny walking by, chanting, "Ice Cold." First pitch taken low and inside for a strike, 0-1 to Tremaine Cobb Jr., 2 outs, bottom of the 6th.
And you know, as the Ballers take a 3-run lead, and maybe they've had, but I start thinking immediately of the 3 C's, the killer C's that we have out in that bullpen. And that is Carson Lambert.
0-2 to Tremaine Cobb.
That is Connor Richardson.
AKA
That is
Chewy.
Connor Sullivan. And you got to like the Ballers' chances when they take a lead late.
Formidable. Chewy, Lambo, and Soli is a tough 7, 8, 9 relief pitching block of steel
Yes,
to
absolutely.
have to face. Very intimidating.
And I was looking it up last night. Connor
0-2
Lambert,
pitches inside. 1-2.
0.82 ERA this season. He has had a wonderful year for himself, and he's dealing, and he's throwing the ball in there in the mid-90s.
Which is unthinkable in the Pioneer League.
It really
where
is.
ERAs can, trickle up to sometimes the 9s and 10s as Tremaine Cobb fouls one off, keeping the count at 1-2.
He's going to take a little lap there and shake that one off for a second. But, yeah, I mean, you see the runs that the Ballers score, and you often hear people say, well, it's the Pioneer League. It's easy to score, right? And I would counter that with pointing out the Ballers lead the Pioneer League in ERA, and their bullpen has been virtually unhittable.
Not a
so
lot of teams are scoring 15 runs off of us.
Not happening.
As
Another liner.
another ropes one over the shortstop, Alex Adams. Tremaine Cobb, an almost identical base hit to 2 base hits we saw earlier in the inning.
Three.
No, but 3 over the shortstop?
All the exact same spot.
3 all over the shortstop.
Yeah, Buford's went there.
Yeah.
Helmix went there, and that
now-
ball by Cobb just went there.
And now Cobb.
If that shortstop was
needs
like
to work on
7
his
feet
jumping.
tall like Clifford Ray,
Yeah, he could do
none
it.
of those hits would have happened. Clifford Ray would have had all 3 of them.
That brings up Isai Santos, the right fielder, with 2 base runners because Peltier walked Darryl Buggs and then Cobb just roped a little single over the shortstop. 2 base runners, Ballers in position to do some more damage here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Already up 4-1 in a half inning that they went into down a run. Let's see if they can keep the momentum going as Tom Peltier meets with his team, meets with his catcher, Alonzo Zuniga, in the infield. Let's see what's happening. Aaron Miles is talking to the home plate ump. Talk about Aaron Miles coming in mid-season last year with the Ballers, leading them to the playoffs, and now, of course,
Leading the entire Pioneer
running a
League
train
in wins right now.
over league. Aaron Miles, a World Series champion in his own right, skipper for the Ballers, and was quite a second baseman for the Cardinals, for the Dodgers. Who else did Aaron Miles play? The Cubs. Oh, he won a World Series. Booney's telling me he won a World Series with the Cubs. I thought he won a World Series with the Cardinals, with Tony La Russa.
Cardinals.
07.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
One fun story, every day I go up to Aaron Miles and I say, who are my victims? And that means who's catching the first pitch from the celebrity that's throwing it. And when I told him that Rick Barry was going to be doing the first
He
pitch
said,
today
"I am."
with the ball underhand granny style, he's like, you know what? I'll do that one.
To make it clear, Casey had the brilliant idea of having Rick Barry, iconic Golden State Warrior, famed granny-style free throw shooter.
Underhanded free
Underhanded
throw
the
shooter,
first pitch
90% in
with a
his
basketball. As Peltier, throws it inside, but Santos takes a big whiff, 0-1. Oh, I'm sorry. This isn't Santos. We've got a pinch hitter,
Ryan Pierce.
Ryan Pierce. Who knew?
Another big swing.
Another big swing and a miss for Ryan Pierce. Let's see if Ryan Pierce, the newcomer, can make something happen with 2 runners on base. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Peltier. Ooh.
Golfed that one.
Golfed
deep
it
down
deep,
the left field
but,
line,
but
foul.
foul. That's going to hit a car. Keeping it 0-2, Ryan Pierce.
And if you're watching the YouTube live stream, Ryan Pierce does indeed look exactly like Scrappy the Rally Possum. It's a remarkable resemblance.
Ooh, as Ryan Pierce throws one to the first baseman for the easy out, ending the inning. 4-1 Ballers after 6. This is Oakland Ballers Radio. This is Oakland Ballers Radio. We are heading into the top of the 7th inning. The Ballers in the bottom of the 6th took a 4-1 lead, and it looks like we've got a new pitcher, Casey. Is that Bogosian?
Looks like Bogo to me. He's a right-handed pitcher, as Reed Butts obviously is a lefty. So
Adam Bogosian from Brooklyn, New York, taking the mound for the Oakland Ballers. Really nice guy. Have you gotten a chance to talk to Adam?
I've talked to Adam a bit. Obviously, we talked to him a lot at Media Day when we learned about his New York roots. But, you know, as this team is constructed very largely of local players, Bogo is a player from the East Coast, and we do have a few East Coast players here. Obviously, Tremaine Cobb Jr. being from Maryland, and
A couple East Coast players. Let's, as Bogosian winds up. As Ernie Yake, the second baseman, takes a ball, making it 1-0. Bogosian, who I believe goes by the nickname
Bogo.
Throws it outside, making it 2-0 to second baseman Ernie Yake here in the top of the 7th inning. Let's see if Rocky Mountain can mount a little bit of a comeback. Ballers have put themselves in the driver's seat with a nice 6th inning as Bogo throws a strike that's fouled back, making it 2-1 to Yake.
now you got to think when you're facing Reed Butts, you're going to set your lineup to be very righty heavy. So to now bring in a righty could be a decided advantage for Aaron Miles, the skipper.
As Bogo throws a ball low and outside, bringing the count to 3-1 to Yake, the second baseman for Rocky Mountain.
Big swing and
Big
miss.
swing and a miss, making it 3-2. Rocky Mountain vibes. What sort of vibes? What are the vibes that the Rocky Mountain?
I think we should
evokes?
actually, and it's kind of crazy that it is the 7th inning and we haven't gotten into this, but their mascot is a s'more, a toasted
It is a
marshmallow.
toasty s'more. As Yake,
Oh, no.
throws
the
one
wall.
back off the wall. Helmig. Great throw to Danny Harris from, is that Lou Helmig?
That, Brian, what you just saw right
Great
there
throw.
was a single that
was a
went off
single.
the left field wall.
Should have been a double, but
you
a
do
great
not see that
throw
often.
by Helmig leaves it as a single. I'll never forget Lou Helmig. We had an investor day here at Ermondi Park, and his name was mispronounced on the PA system during this investor day, and he runs over and he screams, "It's Helmig!" into the broadcast booth.
I was up there when it happened, and I believe it was Headphone James who was our guest
That's
PA
right.
at the time. It was an investor spring training game.
Spogo
And
throws it inside. Ooh,
Lou
for a
stepped
strike,
out of the
0-1.
box. He stepped out of the box, and he wouldn't get back in the box until someone pronounced his name correctly. And he yelled, "Helmick!" And then
Perfect pitch by Bogo. Another strike, making it 0-2.
everybody was confused, so I just jumped on and said it correctly, and then he got back. He said, "Thank you," and he got back in the box. It's one of the funniest things I've seen in an actual spring training game.
Fouled off by Alonzo Zuniga, the catcher.
But Lou, the way he played the carom of that ball off the left field wall and got it back to the infield as quickly as he did, holding the runner to a single on what should have been a double was a remarkable play by Lou, and shows that he's learning and working hard
Ooh.
out there.
A nicely fielded blooper to Tremaine Cobb Jr., the shortstop, as making it 1 out and able to contain the runner on first base.
Just a little flare to short. Tremaine Cobb Jr. made the jump, caught the ball. Nice, easy out.
Bringing up the vibes, center fielder Carter Booth, the leadoff hitter. Wondering what sort of vibes Carter will bring to this at-bat. Bogo winds up, pitches, and he bunts, but it's foul. Bunting vibes.
Bunting vibes, yes.
The emotional vibes are bunting.
The vibes haven't been vibing lately.
No.
They've not been vibing. As we talked about earlier, and the inning ended quickly, but the Ballers with the 6-game sweep of the Vibes at their home park, in the first 6-game sweep in Ballers history, which is a tough thing to do in a long Pioneer League series,
Spogo
especially on the road.
throws a pitch that's fouled back. Now, vibes can be positive or negative.
I guess you're right about that.
The vibes have been challenging for the Vibes, at least in the last 6 games, as Bogo gets ready to throw another pitch. 0-2 count, 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning.
Oh, look at the way Tatum framed that. It is a ball outside, but Tatum really, with a nice frame drop, tried to sell the strike 3 called.
Framing pitches, something that Tyler Lozano taught me. Framing pitches when a catcher catches a ball that would be a ball and then kind of reframes it to a strike, which he couldn't do there. That was a low and outside pitch, making it 2-2, evening the count here to Carter Booth.
You know what's interesting, Brian? Mark Kahn, legal counsel, PA announcer, and the Peanut Gallery here, chirping us as we call this game.
You know, Mark Kahn, Peanut Gallery in person, Peanut Gallery on Slack, just the Peanut Gallery. As Bogo
I had to get him back.
brings
Sorry.
it to a full count, 3-2, 1 out here.
That's fouled back out of play. Still
Carter
a full
Booth
count.
fouls it back.
As the crowd starts chanting, "One more strike! One more strike!" See if Bogo can do it here.
Bogo winds up. The pitch is to Christian Almanza, who can't quite field it. And it's an error to Christian Almanza, and Carter Booth takes first base.
Now what you see happening there is that ball came off the bat with a wicked spin.
It did have a weird spin.
And so as it flared off the bat with the spin, as it hit the ground, it became a really tough play for Christian Almanza, who's a very good first baseman, to make. It's like when you're watching tennis or even pickleball, which Rick Barry is actually a pickleball champion too.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's a really tough spin, and that's what happened on that play. Usually sure-handed Christian Almanza got bit there. Now Bogo is coming out of the game. Manager Aaron Miles is on the mound, and here comes a new pitcher for the Oakland Ballers.
Let's see who we got from the bullpen. It looks to
Looks
me
like
like
Chewy.
Chewy.
Yeah, it
yep,
looks like
that's
Chewy
Connor
to me.
Richardson here in the top of the 7th inning. Connor Richardson, we call him Chewy, a.k.a. Chewbacca. The North Dakota native coming into the game. Chewy is having a heck of a season.
One of those 3 C's, killer C's, whatever we want to call them, Connor, and Carson Lambert. So as Chewy comes into the game here, you could definitely see what's coming next, and that would probably be an inning for Carson Lambert and then an inning for Connor Sullivan, presuming the score stays in hand here.
So here's Chewy, who I believe drives a Zamboni in the offseason. I had a chance to go fly fishing with Chewy in Idaho Falls last season with Jake Dolly, another pitcher for the Ballers last season. Really, really interesting, eccentric guy, Connor Richardson. I didn't, when I first met him, I thought he was really quiet. He's not. He's not. He is full of really fun, interesting stories about growing up in North Dakota and, one heck of a pitcher as he's warming up here. 4-1 lead for the Oakland Ballers in the top of the 7th as they, as you said, Aaron Miles decides enough is enough and he's going to go to his 3 C's.
It's time for the C's.
It's time for the C's.
If we were like, back in the day, Charles Finley, right?
Yeah.
I think we would be trying to get these guys to change their names to B names, to be the Killer Bees and go full gimmick.
We would.
We might still be able to pull that off, but yes, the Killer C's.
I mean, if we're talking Finley, we might actually just legally get their names changed and then not tell them.
And not tell them about it. Yes.
Feels like that's an antic that he might do.
It absolutely
As
is. As
Chewy gets ready for his first pitch, which is, in for a strike. That looked like a wobbler of some sort.
We'll go with that. We'll go with the
I'll
strike
take
there.
it.
It looked outside, but that was a strike.
It zigged and zagged, and ultimately, I guess it painted the outside corner of the strike zone. Chewy pitches, and it's popped up, fouled back, 0-2.
So here's a great story. I did a documentary on the 1970s A's. Obviously, Charles Finley was their owner. Dick Green, the second baseman, told me that he, in his contract negotiation, said that he wanted a horse as part of his deal. His wife wanted a horse. He wanted a horse. As the pitch from Connor Richardson comes in here. Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss. Chewy comes in the game and gets a strikeout.
So what do you think Finley did when he heard, all right, I'll sign with you, but I want a horse? What do you think Finley would do with that, Brian?
I feel like the Finley that I know, as Sam Linscott comes to bat here with 2 runners on to Chewy, I feel like he got him a horse.
So, as the story goes,
or probably
Richardson throws.
Probably a mule.
Dick Green signs the contract, agrees
0-1.
with Finley that he's going to get this horse. A few days later, a package comes in the mail. What's in the package? A toy horse.
That sounds right. Frugality.
What a
as Danny
play!
Harris makes an incredible play at second, throws it to Christian Almanza to end the inning as Chewy gets out of a pickle and the Ballers continue 4-1. Oakland Ballers Radio. Oakland Ballers Radio. If you wanted Tyler Peterson and Nevada Cullen, you've got another thing coming. Of course, Nevada Cullen is nursing that crocodile injury on his ankle that he got at the Tallahassee airport. And so you have us instead, Brian Carmel and Casey Pratt. Casey, Tell us how Reed did now that Reed's out of the game. Reed Butts.
Final line for Reed Butts, 6-inning pitch, 6 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 5 Ks, and 95 pitches, and he worked quickly. It was a good outing for Reed Butts as the Ballers find themselves in position here for a win if the relievers do what they do best.
We got a new pitcher for the Rocky Mountain Vibes. His name is Wyatt Tucker.
Now, Brian, you were welcoming us back on the air at the moment, but Wyatt Tucker, during his warm-ups right now, just absolutely airmailed the catcher straight to the backstop. So Wyatt Tucker a little wild right here in his warm-up so far. We'll see what that means for the Ballers offense.
And I'll tell you, if there's anything I know about Wyatt Tucker, it's nothing. I don't know anything about Wyatt Tucker. This is going to be the first time I've ever observed him pitching.
Look at
so
the
I'm
crowd.
curious.
The whole crowd is
Crowd
doing
singing
the
YMCA.
I'm not sure I've seen this before.
No, this is great.
They're into this. Even Wyatt Tucker, he's kind of like
I feel like
secretly-
Wyatt Tucker's
yeah,
distracted. He's trying to join in. He can't help but jive to the music of YMCA.
That might be why he just airmailed that ball over the head of the catcher during warm-ups. We may have a new thing that's happening at Ramondi Park.
The music dips down, and the Baller's batter comes up, and it is first baseman Christian Almanza, the lefty. Wyatt Tucker gets ready to throw his first pitch to Almanza, and it is low and outside for a ball.
So the Ballers are up 4-1, no outs, and I would always wanted to say this as a lifelong fan of one Ken Korak, but Brian, I believe the lights have taken full effect here at Ramondi Park.
The lights are on. Ooh, as
Towering.
Christian Almanza towers
Sky-high
a
pop-up.
pop-up that, wait, they can't
They
find
drop
it, and
it!
they drop it!
They drop
and
it!
Christian Almanza
He's
goes
at the
on to
third!
second, and he's going to third!
Wow.
Wow, that's a triple for Christian Almanza. Casey just, no, not a triple. Is that an error? There is a
spirited
spirited
debate at the press-
debate going on between Mark Kahn and Booney.
Let me just set the scene, though. Christian Almanza just hit a sky-high pop-up, right? I had just said the lights had taken full effect. This is a play that what I like to call, and shout out to Larry Beal, who used this frequently, when the infielder and the outfielder have no communication. It's the husband and wife play.
It's
The husband and wife play.
They
no
couldn't figure it out.
communication,
They
and
need
the ball
therapy.
hits the ground as Christian Almanza ends up on third.
Danny Harris is up, the second baseman. Ooh. As Wyatt Tucker throws a strike, Danny takes the pitch, comes around, but comes around a bit. And that was a strike. 0-1 to Danny Harris, the fourth. Tucker pitches another
sky-high
pop-up.
pop-up.
Let's see if the Vibes can't find it again. Up, looks like they're able to find it. Barely this time. The third baseman makes the catch.
And ends up on his back. That
Ends
was
up on
not
his
an
back.
easy catch.
Our lights must have a little bit of magic in them tonight because the Rocky Mountain Vibes are blinded by the light and having a little bit of trouble with the pop-ups. Let's see what Cam Buford can do with one out.
Is that a Weekend reference, Brian? Blinded by the light?
Revved up.
Woo.
But first pitch.
Inside.
Inside 1-0 to Buford, the designated hitter for the Oakland Ballers, with Christian Almanza on third base. Next pitch, big swing and a miss.
So, Brian, it's funny. We're all sort of reversing roles today. We're broadcasting for our first time, but another first time coming up. Mayor Mike wants me to vend hot dogs on his birthday.
I think that's a great idea, Casey.
I don't know if I like that idea.
I would like to.
I'll do
film-
it, but
I would like to make a little film about that as Buford fouls it off to make the count 1-2 with one out here in the bottom of the seventh inning.
what happens if I eat all the hot dogs?
Casey,
You can't.
how
take
many
your
hot
own
dogs
supply.
legitimately do you think you could eat?
I watched Joey Chestnut eat
Ooh.
70 and a half on.
Big swing and a miss as
4th of July.
Buford goes down on strikes.
So I have a long-standing baseball hot dog rule because I worked in baseball so long. One is my limit because if you eat one a game, you can survive.
I only eat one during a game, but
If you eat
post-game,
two during a game, you'll start feeling the effects quickly.
as Tucker throws it in to Lou Helmig for a strike, making it 0-1. You know, I also only eat one hot dog during a game. After the game is another story. After the game, I think that 3 to 4 hot dogs is appropriate as Wyatt Tucker winds up, throws a ball, evening the count 1-1, 2
How
outs.
many cheeseburgers do you eat after a game?
I can eat an aggressive number of cheeseburgers. What happens is, concessions, there's some extra food, sometimes some extra food.
And
what
we're a
they don't
scrappy
sell,
bunch. We like extra food.
and outside pitch 2-1, and sometimes we eat the extra food because it's like it's gonna get thrown out. And sometimes what I
And
do
we're
is
hungry. We've been running around all game.
I take 2 cheeseburgers home. I don't eat both buns. I take both patties and I combine them, and then I eat them with one bun, and it's delicious.
Big swing and miss.
Big swing and miss to Helmig. Big germ, big swing. Wyatt Tucker evens the count at 2-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
And they are saying, Lou, not boo.
Lou, not boo. Christian Almonz is on third.
Wide.
Wide, making it 3-2.
One time I saw Brian Carmel. I was standing there eating a cold cheeseburger. Brian did his trick where he took the bun off. He
Remember
made
that
a
my
burger,
wife is listening, whatever
and
you're going
then
to say.
he took it to the microwave in the clubhouse and heated it up.
Oh,
and
I
was
did
like,
that.
that's a pro move.
That was smart.
A veteran
That was smart.
move.
And I found all the condiments.
Ugh.
Ooh, Wyatt Tucker swings, and Lou Helmig swings and misses an inside fastball from Wyatt Tucker, ending the inning with a strikeout. 4-1 Ballers, Oakland Ballers Radio. Oakland Ballers Radio. This is Brian Carmel with Casey Pratt. We are heading into the top of the 8th inning. Tyler Peterson and Nevada Cullen are out today, so you've got me and Casey. Nevada, of course, is nursing that injury from a crocodile at the Tallahassee airport. And it looks like Chewy, Connor Richardson, is still pitching for the Oakland Ballers. After
He came in
closing
to
out the
relieve
7th.
Bogo, so he hadn't pitched a full frame yet.
That's right.
You'd have to imagine Carson Lambert is warming up in the bullpen right now, as will Connor Sullivan be shortly, I would wager.
That's what I would think. We are pretty consistent as the first baseman, Gary Laura, comes up to bat for the Vibe. Let's see if the Rocky Mountain Vibes can get some vibes of their own going here in the top of the 8th inning as Chewy squares up, gets ready to pitch. Ooh, very inside, very fast. And that is an inside ball, making it 1-0.
And we don't have the full complement of TrackMan and stats up here at the moment because Brian and I are filling in. But one thing to note about Pioneer League Baseball, because I've heard the misconception before, people think they don't throw as hard here. No, these guys are throwing in the 90s, mid-90s. They can absolutely pump it in here.
And by the way, that's fast. Like, I can't
Very
even throw
fast.
in the mid-90s. As Chewy throws a pitch that's fouled off, making it 1-2. Like, I don't think I could throw in the 90s, Casey. Do you?
No, I think you could probably throw maybe 88, 89, but I don't think you're
but I don't
cresting
think I could.
90. Yeah.
No. So just to give you guys context listening about the speed, this isn't something I could achieve as Chewy outside, evening the count 2-2. But seriously, I think I could throw into the 50s.
Maybe.
Like if I practiced.
I did see you throw a hot dog over the net. That was pretty impressive.
I did, and not to brag, but Michael O'Hara, was throwing a hot dog with me, and his didn't get over the net, and
Yeah.
mine did during the hot dog test.
Which
So
led to one of the funniest comments I think I've ever heard in my life,
Which
where
was?
O'Hara said, well, at least the meat made it into the crowd, because the bun did not.
glass half full.
Yeah,
Michael
he's
O'Hara.
very happy at least the meat made it into the crowd,
3 and
which
2
is all
count.
that matters.
To Laura as he pops up, and let's see
Lou's calling him off.
if Lou
got it.
Lou Helmig able to make the catch. 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. So I was able to get the hot dog over the net during the hot dog toss, but professional baseball player Michael O'Hara was not. You decide.
You decide what the velocity of said hot dog was, fans.
What that says about me and my life and my self-esteem. As Chewy gets ready to face Dane Toughlin, the beer batter, who swings. Now,
But there has last call has happened.
Last
He's
call's
no longer the
happened,
beer
so
batter.
this
He's
would
been
be-
relinquished to that
this would
responsibility.
be a symbolic beer
Yeah.
batter strikeout, but not an actual one leading to a $5 discount on beers. But it would still be a moral victory as Chewy throws a pitch, and it looks like it's fouled. Is Almanza going to be able to make the play? No. Loses it blinded by the light again, but it's an 0-2 count. Wow, these lights tonight, when it gets dark, but the lights are light, and it looks like there's a lot of...
The lights are
The
light.
lights are light,
And
and
the vibes are not vibing.
yeah.
Yeah, we have seen several sky high pop-ups here. I like that my nod to Ken Korak that the lights have taken full effect actually has become a factor here because several balls have been lost in the light here in the last inning and a half.
0-2 count as
But we stepped out of the
Toughlin
box.
steps out of the box. Let's see tonight. What has Toughlin done? He's 1 for 3 tonight.
Hey, you
There we
remember,
go.
Brian? I tried out for the Ballers.
You
in
did.
the inaugural year.
And as
Oh, no.
Toughlin ropes one,
Deep
that's
to
deep,
left.
and that is gone.
Off
Dane
the warehouse.
Toughlin. Seems like when we call a beer batter, they get annoyed and then they hit home runs. Dane Toughlin hits a home run. They're creeping back, making it 2-4 in favor of the Oakland Ballers, and bringing up the designated hitter, Will Butcher.
I don't have any stats on this. Nevada and Tyler might be able to produce these at some point, but the beer batter has battered the Ballers for a home run almost every
Yeah.
single time.
The beer batter hits a lot of very big balls. This is Will Butcher, who's hitting .297 on the season, .390 on base percentage, 20 walks, 27 strikeouts. Let's see what Chewy can do here as Connor Richardson winds up the pitch. Ooh, is roped into center field, but
Right to Bugs.
Bugs is able to make the play. That's 2 outs in the inning. And Chewy stays in. Let's see if the Ballers can close out the inning. That brings up former Baller Stephen Wilmer, the left fielder. Stephen Wilmer, who came over in the trade with Brett Carson from the Rocky Mountain Vibes.
Am I not mistaken? Is he a switch hitter, Brian?
Stephen Wilmer is a switch hitter. That is very
Yeah,
astute of you,
He's on the other
Casey.
side of the plate here.
Yeah. Now, for those of you who don't know anything, a switch hitter means that you can hit from the right side of the plate or the left side of the plate. I bet you all knew that, but I just wanted to clarify in case.
No, it's good. We want everybody to feel inclusive of
Yeah.
Ballers baseball, and it is a good reminder that we should explain things to people
As Chewy
because we can't assume
throws an
everybody
outside
knows what's
pitch,
going on.
making it 1-1, 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning, as the Vibes on that moonshot have crept a little bit forward, making it 4-2 in favor of the Ballers. Chewy winds up, throws inside, ball, 2-1.
Scrappy's down there working his magic, making people happy,
I see.
shaking hands, kissing babies.
Scrappy, of course, is the rally possum, as
Chopper
Wilmer
first.
throws one to Almanza, drops it, able to pick it up and make the play, ending the inning. Chewy, 1 run on that home run by Dane Toughlin. Score is 4-2 Ballers. You're listening to Oakland Ballers Radio. This is Oakland Ballers Radio as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning here in beautiful Raimondi Park. This is Brian Carmel broadcasting with Casey Pratt as the Ballers try to hold on with a 4-2 lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
He announced attendance tonight, over 2,500, and I just saw a fan in a Warriors jersey on Warriors Championship night get named Ballers Fan of the Game and receive an autograph from Rick Barry, Charles Dudley, and Clifford Ray. What a cool moment for that little Warriors fan.
Now, Casey, we should talk about the standings. Of course, the Oakland Ballers are leading the Pioneer League with a 32-10 record. They've won 11 in a row, 14 of the last 15. They are trying to achieve their goal of clinching a playoff spot. Of course, Pioneer League, the winner of the first half, the two top teams in the first half clinch a playoff spot as Dylan Tatum takes the first pitch in for a strike. So the Ballers' magic number would be 3 if they win tonight. Ballers leading the league, followed by the Missoula Paddleheads. As the pitch is a ball, evening the count at 1-1.
Well, we've been keeping an eye on the Paddleheads because we've been jockeying for the best record in the Pioneer League, but it's important to note that the top 2 teams clinch
That's right.
playoffs and home season or home field
Ooh,
advantage.
as Dylan Tatum ropes one past a third baseman that lands in the gap. Tatum's rounding first, and he's on his way to second, where he will easily make it in, sliding with a double to open the inning.
So a leadoff double by Tatum.
Leadoff
That
double.
ball was scorched right down the left field line, past the diving third baseman. Took several hops as it approached the wall, and Tatum was easily able to wheel his way to second. Now the Ballers have a runner in scoring position to start the frame, and after giving up a home run in the previous inning, a little insurance wouldn't be so bad here.
Nick Leahy, who hit a 3-run moonshot to give the Ballers the lead last at bat, just foul of the first baseline to make it 0-1. Now, so the Ballers' magic number actually will shrink to 2 tonight with a win. To clinch a playoff spot. 3. Oh, and of course, Yuba Sutter, the High Wheelers, last year's Pioneer League champions, if they lose, it would make the magic number for the Oakland Ballers 1. Missoula's result doesn't really matter because, of course, the Paddleheads are in second place. So they could clinch that other playoff spot. Interesting system where the two top teams in the first half clinch playoff spots. And, you got to feel like that's something that skipper Aaron Miles wants so that you can go into the second half already knowing that you've made the playoffs.
And then you can try some things, Brian. You can try some different roles in the bullpen. You can test some things out here and there. You can
juggle.
You can juggle, but also more importantly, you're one of the co-founders of this team. You can now opt to, following the MLB draft, see who the best of the best is available.
That's
and
right.
really pounce on some elite talent and stack the roster and try to win a championship, because guys are going to want to join a winning team. And this Ballers team is not only full of winners, it's full of MLB pedigree in the coaching staff. And so this is a really good destination for guys to go, especially if you have that first home field advantage clinched already in the first half.
The pitch, low and inside, taken for a ball.
So to recap, magic number shrinks to 2 tonight with a win. A Yuba Sutter loss would make the magic number 1. Missoula's result does not matter, but it is good for bragging rights. We want to be the top team in the Pioneer League, right, Brian?
We absolutely do. As the pitch is in for a ball, making it 2-2 to Nick Leahy, who, of course, roped that 3-run homer to put the Ballers ahead.
At this point,
runs.
if I'm picking player of the game, right now, I'm going Nick Leahy.
I think so. I mean, that was a monster hit. Pitch is inside again. Excuse me, outside, low and outside for a ball, 3-2.
Now, I have to shout out Nevada Cullen, of course, for the assist on that math because while I may be somewhat gifted with words, I am not gifted with numbers, and I am really bad at math. I didn't do that math, folks. That was all Nevada.
I'll tell you one number that's really consistent in baseball. If you want to win the game, you have to score more runs than the other team.
Oh, more runs.
And if you score fewer runs, that's not a win. That's a loss.
That's tough.
As Leahy goes back into the batter's box. Yeah, you want more runs is better than fewer runs. The pitch. Ooh,
He's challenging it.
He's challenging the strike. Let's see if the challenge is successful. I think that's the first baller's challenge this game. And the pitch is overturned to a ball, which means Leahy gets a walk.
And remember, the Vibes are out of challenges and have been out of challenges for quite some time in this game.
The ballers walk to put 2 runners on base with Tatum and Leahy on, bringing up Daryl Buggs, the center fielder.
There is a impromptu fireworks show taking place
right
somewhere in West Oakland.
Yes.
And it is not just the Ballers' bats providing the fireworks tonight, folks.
It's beautiful. Something tells me that it's not legally sanctioned, Casey.
What makes you think that, Brian?
Just a hunch.
Just a hunch.
Just a hunch. As Buggs, who's 0 for 2 tonight, tries to bunt, misses. Ooh, but is able to get the bat back, and it's 1-0 to Daryl Buggs. Yeah, fireworks are blasting in West Oakland.
The umpires don't like that. The umpires did like taking pictures with the 1975
Of course they did.
championship trophy before the game, but it appears the
Less so
Vibes
with the fireworks.
are concerned about the fireworks that are nowhere near the ballpark right now, but they are looking for any way they can slow this thing down a little bit, if possible. Down 4-2 here.
Frankly, I feel like the fireworks are adding to the vibes.
I would agree. Although, if you're listening, please only legally acquire and use.
Oh!
dang.
As Buggs lays down what looked like a perfect bunt, but it rolled just foul on the third baseline.
And the third baseman, it looked like he was
Leaving the
just
count at
about to
1-1.
pick it up, but he did not pick it up. It rolled foul.
He
That
almost
would've
picked it
been
up before it rolled foul, which would have been, frankly, silly.
Silly, yeah. It would have been bad vibes.
Bad vibes.
You don't want bad vibes.
Now, if you're Daryl Buggs, who is quite fast, I mean, I think if I raced him, he would win. If you're Daryl Buggs, do you bunt again? Now that he's shown bunt twice, do you try to bunt again? What do you think, Casey?
I
with a
think you
1-1
still
count?
do it until you have 2 strikes.
Okay.
So let's see what happens
see what
here.
he
He wants
does.
to get the runners on first and second over with no outs. And here he goes, showing
Shows
bunt.
bunt.
And he got a perfect bunt down.
Perfect bunt to the pitcher, and
The ball
and
gets away from the first baseman. Oh, the runner comes
And
home,
he's
and
safe.
safe.
Runner safe at home. The Ballers score, and they go up 5-2.
Wow.
5-2 Ballers.
So let's try to
Buggs-
paint the picture
let's-
of what
okay.
just happened there.
Buggs bunted. It goes to the pitcher. The pitcher throws a decent but not amazing throw
Keeping
to
in mind,
first base.
Bugs is insanely fast.
Insanely
he has
fast.
to move quick.
Faster than I would be at a race. At a
Some
foot
would
race.
say faster than Brian, yet to be determined.
And it's close, but the first baseman isn't able to hold on.
Bobbled it. He dropped it,
Yeah.
which made him safe, at which point the Ballers broke for home. The throw beat the runner home, but the catcher couldn't handle it. So that was
Catcher held on, but it was a perfect slide, and he scored a run. Tremaine Cobb's up. No
And
outs, inside pitch.
that's why you bunt the ball,
1-0.
folks.
That was a good bunt. He made it clear he was going to bunt. He stated his intentions, and he bunted, and it was successful.
Far more successful than expected. And now you have a rattled pitcher. You have bad vibes. You
2-0
have the
to
leadoff
Tremaine
hitter at
Cobb.
the plate. And the Ballers got that insurance run they needed.
Hunter Bryant on the mound, not having a great inning so far. as Tremaine Cobbs gets ahead in the count 2-1 with Hunter Bryant on the mound.
You know, it is the 8th inning, and we've yet to check our Magic 8-ball, Brian. Do we have a Magic 8-ball?
Shit. Okay. 2-2.
We barely have
Cobb.
a working computer, let alone a Magic 8-ball at this point in time. But if anybody in the chat would like to ask some questions, I will gladly make up terrible
Ooh.
answers.
As Tremaine Cobb fouls it back. And I'll tell you what I know about Hunter Bryant. I know his name. That's what I know about Hunter Bryant. And I know
that's
that
deep.
he's having a bit of a rough inning. 2 runners on. 2-2 to Tremaine Cobb as he, ropes one just foul. Third baseline. 2-2. But if anybody has any questions about Hunter Bryant, feel free to put them in the comments on YouTube. I'm going to Google him right now, Hunter Bryant.
Yes, and remember, your Magic 8-ball questions, we need to keep that tradition going. Becky Acosta, thanks for the description of the play to help us visualize. We appreciate that, Becky. We're doing our best here.
Tremaine Cobb, gets it to the third base, who's able to get Tremaine out at first base. Oh, was that a double play, Casey? It was a double play.
Yeah, he got the
because
tag
he
on
was
the
able to
runner as he ran by.
Tag Leahy. Great play, great heads-up play by the third baseman. And that brings up, for the Ballers, with 2 outs, Isai Santos, still with a runner on second base. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 5-2 Ballers. Outside, 1-0 from Hunter Bryant, whose first name is Hunter and whose last name is Bryant. Casey, do you know anything about Hunter Bryant?
I know that his name begins with an H, and his last name begins with a B. And he pitches for the
Rocky Mountain
Vibes. And he's currently on the mound at Ramondi Park in West Oakland, where a few minutes ago there was fireworks. And a Baller's run scored.
So you actually do know some things.
Yeah, I know a lot.
I'll tell you, he's pitched 23 innings this year, and his ERA is 4.63.
It's a respectable Pioneer League ERA, Brian.
That is actually pretty good for a relief pitcher.
And he's a righty.
Giving up 20 hits in 23 innings pitched, not bad. 13 earned runs as Isai Santos pops one up
Another
to the
sky
first
high.
baseman. To the second baseman, he's able to make
He
the
got
catch,
it.
ending the inning. 5-2 Ballers. After 8 innings, Oakland Ballers Radio, 860 AM. Radio, we head to the 9th inning where Connor Sullivan, a.k.a. Sully, our closer, has come in to finish this game off. And Casey, guess what? We have data.
We have TrackMan
We
data,
have
folks.
TrackMan data. We have release speed. We have spin rate. We have induced vertical BR. And I don't know what it stands for.
Break.
Induced vertical break. We have horizontal break. We have exit speed. We have a lot of information
So
that we
going
didn't
forward,
have.
we're just going to be telling you what the vertical release of each pitch is, and hopefully that helps paint the picture of what's taking place on this field here at historic Raimondi Park.
Interested in the exit angle of Soli's pitches? I'm going to tell you when he starts throwing them because I have that on my monitor right now in front of me. So stand by to learn about the exit angle of Soli's pitches.
It's amazing how primitive the first 8 innings of this broadcast were, Brian.
Your minds are about to be blown.
You are.
Here we go. Soli, first pitch,
88,
88 mile release speed,
6.32 exit angle.
14.14 horizontal break. That is what I thought. Yeah, it looked like a 14.14 horizontal
And I did
break.
notice there was a negative 0.65 vertical release on that
I
pitch,
saw
Brian.
that too, Casey. Now, that exit angle looked like it was about 6.32. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, as Soli throws
That was a little off-speed 82-mile-per-hour
ball
pitch.
1-1. Nobody should have given us this information, Casey.
We
Okay.
were much better without information.
Ooh.
And
Ground
a ground
ball
ball to first, and Almanza makes the
To
play
Christian
himself.
Almanza. Now, that release speed was 81 miles an hour
Yeah.
as there's one out here in the top of the 9th inning.
See, they've gone and given us fancy toys, and that's never a good thing.
Okay, next up is the catcher, Alonzo Zuniga, who takes a strike at an 88-mile-an-hour fastball from Connor Sullivan to make it 0-1 here in the top of the 9th inning. Soli winds up, releases, strike, 80-mile changeup with an induced vertical break of 7.03 inches.
And that was a .38 vertical release, Brian. You guys following this at home?
Soli has Zuniga down 0-2 in the count with one out here in the 9th inning. The crowd is getting excited, folks. Soli winds up the throw as it's roped into
Foul ball down the right field line.
and it's foul off an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. Okay, let's see if Soli can close it out. Still 0-2 to the catcher, Alonzo Zuniga.
The bearing on that pitch was 48.61 degrees.
Looks
I don't
like
even know what
he hit it
bearing
about
is.
257 feet, I would say. Yeah, 257, if I had to eyeball it.
This is a stat cast. We do stats now.
Okay, Soli winds up the throw, and it's hit foul to stay 0-2 off a 79-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch.
Soli aggressive here, working here. 2 strikes, no balls, 1 out.
Okay, so
Soli, I believe, has 9 saves this season, which is an impressive tally. You'll probably find him on the first half All-Star
he
list.
winds up, he throws.
Did he go
and
around?
He's gone
And he
around.
did.
That's a strikeout for Connor Sullivan. That's 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. One more, 1 out away from a Ballers victory, creeping them closer, ever so closer to clinching home field advantage and a playoff berth here at the midpoint of the season as Soli gets ready to throw a pitch to Carter Booth. First pitch is in for a strike on an 80-mile-an-hour changeup. Wow, that spin rate. What was it, 23, 26?
At least
RPMs?
23, 26. That's revolutions per minute, Brian.
Soli throws, and it's outside, evening the count 1-1 with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning on a beautiful night in Oakland, California,
And
West Oakland.
For planning purposes only, of course. If I were a fan of the Ballers, I'd be buying tickets for Wednesday and Thursday's games because that Ballers magic number is creeping down.
2 outs, 1-2 to Soli. One more pitch potentially cements
Fans are
the
getting
Oakland
loud.
Ballers' victory.
They sense what's about to happen here.
Let's see what happens.
They're chanting spin rate, spin rate.
He throws it, and it's a strike. Ballers win. The Ballers win the ball game, making it 12 in a row and 15 of the last 16 games.
Correct.
Oakland Ballers victory, folks, as we creep 1 win closer to clinching the first half championship. Oakland Ballers win. Casey, What are your thoughts? Great game coming home after what a great road stand, coming home and to take the vibes like this 5-2.
Yeah, total team win for the Ballers, Brian. Great pitching from Reed Butts, great pitching from the bullpen. Huge clutch hitting for the Ballers, including that big Nick Leahy 3-run home run. And we will be hearing from Nick Leahy here shortly as they get finished clapping hands and celebrating this win. 12 in a row, Brian, is a very impressive tally, and that is not easy to do, especially in the Pioneer League, especially when most of those wins, except for tonight, came on the road. This is a very impressive performance by the Ballers, who are just feasting on the Pioneer League right now.
And it looks like we're going to take it to the field where Angelina, our host, has Nick Leahy, who's the player of the game. Here we go to Angelina.
Thank you, Casey. I'm here with our player of the game, Nick Leahy. Nick, that 3-run homer lit up this crowd. Walk us through that at-bat. What were you seeing at the plate, rounding the bases?
Yeah, I mean, he spun me twice. I was early on. I was just trying to go to the right center, and it worked out. And teammates behind me were cheering me on. It was awesome. Good moment.
I mean, you've been stepping up huge for the Ballers. What's been clicking for you? How do you keep that energy going?
Just, you know, being free out here, having fun. The guys are great. The coaches are great. The fans are awesome. It's a fun place to be. It's a fun place to play. We're going to keep going.
Amazing. Well, congratulations again on another W. Back to you, Casey.
Thank you, Angelina. What a game for the Ballers. Total team win. 12 in a row from the Oakland Ballers as I see more fireworks going off in the West Oakland skyline.
Wow, look at that. Those fireworks have to be for the Ballers' victory. Not that we are the ones who are lighting them off.
We do not sanction those fireworks, but we will
them.
enjoy them for the moment because everything is going right in the Ballers' world with 12 wins in a row, coming off a 6-game road sweep. Great pitching tonight, great hitting tonight, defense solid. You've got to love what you see from this team, and to do it, Brian, with the 1975 Championship Warriors in the house and their trophy, this is exactly what we wanted to create in Oakland. These are the good vibes we want to deliver at Raimondi Park.
We're going to head to a quick break and then take a commercial break, and then we'll be back with the post-game show, Oakland Ballers Radio, here on 860 AM. This is Oakland Ballers Radio, the post-game show. I'm Brian Carmel, and I'm here with Casey Pratt. And wow, Casey, for our first run at broadcast, I think it went okay.
We are officially undefeated as Ballers broadcasters, Brian.
I don't think that Nevada Cullen and Tyler Peterson can say that they're undefeated as Ballers broadcasters.
I don't think they can say that. So right now we're 1-0. Obviously, we don't want to jinx it, but things are going fairly well. The Ballers have won their 12th in a row. We can look at the out-of-town scoreboard here in the Pioneer League.
We've got the Boise Hawks won 14-4 against the Colorado Springs Sky Sox. Missoula is in a 9-9.
They lost
Missoula
in a knockout round.
Lost
to
in the
Ogden.
knockout round, putting the Ballers even more ahead of the Paddleheads in first place. Billings beat Glacier 8-5. The Voyagers beat the Idaho Falls Chookers 13-7. And
look at that. The Jackalopes are up on the High
up
Wheelers.
on the High
That's
Wheelers.
one we need to be keeping an eye on, Brian. In the 8th inning, the Jackalopes are up 3-2 on Yuba Sutter, and that could have some pretty serious implications here for us.
So, Casey, let's talk about the Ballers' magic number at this point. Frankly, I'm a little bit confused. Does anybody know what our magic number is? Mark Kahn.
It is now
two to clinch a playoff spot, pending the Yuba game. If Yuba loses, it goes to 1.
And that would mean the Ballers are in control of their own destiny. They win tomorrow, they clinch a playoff berth, and that would be huge for the Oakland Ballers to be able to clinch not only home field, but a playoff berth.
Magic number to win the first half is now 3. Ballers are feeling good after a 5-2 victory here at Raimondi Park to start off the homestand against the Rocky Mountain Vibes. We'll be back tomorrow with a day game starting at 1 o'clock. We'll be with you all week long. Thank you for tuning in to Oakland Ballers Radio here on 860.